ensures and obligations on our part. See them towering over me, no, it's too high. It's a matter of opinion if I'm right, but I'm leaving no for now to go outside. Putting shores and obligations on our part. See them towering over me, no, it's too high.
Trait is, I've been trying to fix my shit with meaningless situationships, knowing that no man could ever love me the way my father did, so I don't even bother with no relationship. Choosing men that's emotionally unavailable, because the trauma that I carry, I've been trying to bury. So I picked the ones I couldn't even tell it to. And when it's said and done and me and him are through, he took another piece of me. So now it ain't no peace for you. You couldn't keep me if you wanted to. No tear-stained pillows when I was the only one there to hold me, just nights, staring at the ceiling. No tears left to cry, just disappearing feelings. No sad song to be sung, just little me going numb. And I got so used to being loved from a distance that when I came across the first man that did it, I wasn't even tripping. And my toxic trait is, for that, I don't think I need no therapy. It makes sense because the ones that was supposed to be wasn't ever there for me. And my heart been so turned inside out that even when I pour it out, I don't even feel like I'm being vulnerable. And I'm already on my way out the door as soon as you getting comfortable. And yeah, they play their hand how they play it. And whatever's on my mind, I just go ahead and save it. I'm the one that chooses, and I chose you, so I don't even gotta say shit. I know my love ain't the type of love that you play with. So I pick dudes that don't do love, the type of dudes you can only lay with. Non-committal, cause he married to the streets. We both got war stories, and we just share them on my sheets. My toxic trait is that I think I'm scared of love. Cause deep down, I know how many times that I've been told I'm too much. And my mama never told me not to date a thug. My toxic trait is I love me in ways that no man could top. And once I decide that I love you, it ain't no way that I'ma stop. And the only way to break this bond is if he fuck it up, and every time he do, I still find a way to suck it up. And my problem is, I hear you even when you don't say it. And even without acknowledging the apologies, I already decided that I'm staying. My toxic trait is that I ain't even hurting every time they do me dirty. I broke my father's heart, so when it comes to this love thing, I'm questioning if I'm worthy.
Damn. She said,
Ladies and gentlemen,
oh my God.
how are
She
we
said, I
doing
broke
this
my father's
evening?
heart. Let's go.
Yes.
Wow.
That was deep.
She is dirty. Like, bruh.
Yeah. But you know what, though? That's how a lot of women, make the choices that they make, because they have the same mentality that this woman portrayed in this poem that she recited.
Oh my God. What up, Susan? How you doing, love?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live collaboration every Saturday night between Matter of Opinion and the Gary Lamb Network. We got Susan in the building, Peter Wilson in the building. Those who are in the building, salutations to you. Definitely smash that like button, share this video, share it, share the content pretty much, We don't ask for much, but we definitely ask for you to smash that like button and share the content. This way it gets in the algorithm, the whole 9 yards. So today, this evening, we are talking about why women can't get enough of the Pookies and the Ray Rays. And the reason why this topic is so important is because women will turn around, they'll choose the Pookie and the Ray Rays, know that there's so many red flags, but continue to go with the situation. And then when it doesn't work out, they sit there and blame all men for their bad decision. And that is a problem. So, with that being the subject of conversation, Erica P., Gary Lamb, which one of you want to, give your thoughts on the Pookies and the Ray Rays that these women are choosing?
All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and go first then. I got y'all.
Mhm.
I'm not going to tell you these are the people that I choose, but I know why they choose those types of people.
I would love to hear.
Now, before we continue, Wally, your voice is doing some weird distortion thing. Just to, you might want to.
Okay,
I don't know.
let me
Maybe
see.
you might even playing with the knobs or something, but it is doing some
what
little
about now?
distortion. Continue. Talk again.
Is it still doing it now?
Yes. I mean, I can deal with it. It just, you know, it will be I think everybody should be able to do it. Go ahead, Erica P.
Okay. So usually the bad boy for most people means he's usually assertive. He's usually going to be the person who's not afraid to speak their mind. They're usually more authentic to some people. Some people feel that they're more appealing because they're not overly nice to girls. So I feel like that's one of those things that people gravitate to those bad boys for, because it's like, okay, I said what I said and that's it. You have at times where they could have a girl be either crazy or dangerously excited. You don't know what you're going to get from them. So because you don't know what you're going to get from them, it's that little bit of adrenaline rush that they get from dating them.
Erica P.
Go ahead.
And Gary, can y'all hear me good?
Yes.
Much
Does
better.
it still have the story? Okay. I had to bring on the wireless mic. So, all right, cool.
Okay.
Go ahead,
So,
Erica
you
P.
know, with having that adrenaline rush, sometimes it's more mystery or more adventure to them. Or they feel like they're engaging in like some kind of risky behavior. So for them, it's always going to be a surprise of what's about to happen. You may or may not get into some sticky situations. It might spice up their life a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
That's, you know, they get that excitement from it.
I hate to agree with you because I've actually utilized a lot of those tactics, you know, to get women to, you know, pretty much do what I wanted them to do. So you're spot on with that. It's, you know, it's the, you know, and Toya, don't get mad at me. Okay, this was a long time ago, long time ago. Okay,
I got
ever
some
in a go,
stories
dang
too,
it,
brother.
like Jesus. And like, you know, but you'll be in a, you know, cookout, right? And you walk up to the girl and you know she's hot for you, you hot for her. So what you do is you walk up to her, get real next to her, real close, you know, start playing with her fingers right under the daggone table, right in front of her father. She's sitting there like done, like, holy cow, this we got a Gina Smith. Welcome to the Gary
New
Lamb
member.
Network. Oh man, thank you very much, love. I truly appreciate it. But yeah, I've done things like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I've done things where I flirted with girls. I had no intention of doing anything with them, but it was like, you know what? I'm bored. I'm at work for freaking 15 hours sitting on my feet. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they don't allow you to sit when you're freaking, you know, selling your phones, but so you got to sit on your feet. And girl comes up and she's flirting with you. You flirt back. You know what I'm saying? You know, you see if you can get her to, you know, blush a little bit, you know, just to sharpen your knife a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You know, got the wife on the daggone live. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be on some bull. You know, I don't want to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? I want a nice night tonight. So I'm going to like, this was a long time ago. You know what I'm saying? And things are different now and, you know, stuff like that. And, but yes, she's absolutely right. And here's the thing. The caliber of woman that go for these particular men are because chances are they grew up in that environment where that's what they're used to. Don't make no mistake about it. However, a man is a man and a man is a man. I can say the same. I can walk up to one of these women who were in the hood, and I can be just as stern and polite at the same time, and they still respond to that. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll be at a McDonald's or something, and I'll be like, go get a seat for us. And she immediately does it, right? But you know, it clicks to her like, because I remember this time and she was like, Dad, man, you like just commanded me and I just did it. I was like, well, why wouldn't you? And she said, yeah, you're right. Why wouldn't I? You know, but I'm not used to men just telling me what to do. And I was like, but I didn't tell you what to do. I basically gave you an option. We can stand in line, right? Or you can get a seat. You said you're not trying to, you're not hungry, you don't want to eat nothing. Well, I'm getting a burger, so go get a seat. It's crowded, get a seat. You know what I'm saying? So, okay, you got to stand in line with me, you know, I'm grown ass man, you know. So those type of, you know, interactions with a woman, it really does pay off. So yes, you're absolutely right. So if they want that assertiveness, you know, fast cars, right? You know, I can show that I can drive fast, but there are women that can't stand that, right? So they're like,
Mhm.
why are you trying to why are you treating this car like it's a sports car? And I'm like, because I thought that's what y'all like. So I
Yeah.
did it, you know. So
Mhm.
it does, you know, filter down, but man, she's right. You know, she's absolutely right. I'm glad to hear that. You know, we got some, you know, women up here and got some knowledge. Go ahead, go ahead.
And the thing is though, um, because I for one played the role of Pookie in disguise and everything like that. And when it came to me, putting up
Pookie in
the front of being a
disguise.
Pookie, yeah, it was selective being Pookies in certain areas. But the crazy thing about being the Pookies in selective areas were there were always, and I mean always, situations that I presented that were red flags to these women.
Hmm.
And whatever story I told them, whatever the case may be, you could tell in their mind they knew it was BS, but they still continued to go with the situation.
Now,
So
this
at
is
the
what
end of the day, okay, what's up?
that's one of the things that irritates me about women. Why don't you
Hmm.
just up front and bring, you know, ask me whatever? Like, okay, I used to put $100 bills on the outside of my watch because that's just how I knew to do. That's what I saw everybody else
Yes.
do, so I just did
Uh-huh.
that. A girl asked me, "Why do y'all do that?" And I sat there and I had to scratch my head because I really didn't have an answer for it. I'm like, I just saw people doing it since I was a kid, so I did it. She was like, "Oh, because that seems kind of suspect." So now I keep a $1 bill on the outside because I'm like, oh, I don't want like because obviously we think logically. So if she's saying that same suspect to her, there's a possibility that a lot of women feel that way. They just don't say anything about it.
Well, I
So
was think about it though, right? If you're somebody and you date people that flash money, you know that's what they're not going to do. They're not going to have the 100 show first because a lot of times it's if you're paying for something, places don't accept hundreds. Think about it. If you're going to a McDonald's, a KFC, or whatever, you got to go through everything just to get a 20. So if you're thinking
hmm,
logically about it, it's like I should keep singles, fives, or 20s first because that's the common thing that you're going to pay with. Now, if
yeah,
only thing
But
in
here's the
your pocket
question.
is 100, then yes, that's fine. You leave the hundreds in that wad. But
Here's
it's the
here's the
time and
question
place
for
for that.
you. You really think women will look at it like, because you're looking at it from your perspective. You really think the way women want the Pookies and the Ray Rays and want a man to have money and take care of them. You really think they're gonna see a dude pull out a wad of money and it's singles and fives and tens? You really think that's gonna make that woman think, oh, he's hiding his money? No, it's gonna make the woman think, yo, this dude is broke as hell. You're gonna pull out a wad like that, and all you got is singles and fives. So you really think in today's society that modern women will see a guy pull out a knot with ones on the outside and not think, he's less than?
See, I guess because I think logically about that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter to me. But
hmm,
yes, you're right. If
But
if we're going out to the club or something, no, you're right. I want you to pull out hundreds because a lot of times you're pulling out the hundreds to pay for those bottles. You're not pulling out 100 to pay for a single glass. So in
see,
my head,
here's
it depends on the
here
perception that you're doing.
here's my logic on it, because the way I look at it when it comes to the Pookies and the Ray Rays and things of that nature is women want other women to look at them as they're a prize or they're top of the food chain, right?
hmm,
So women will say, "Oh, I do this for men," but they do this because they're in competition with other women to make it to present themselves as, I'm better than you. A man would choose me over you. So if you go out with a guy and he pulls out a wad of money and it's hundreds on the outside at a club or something, that woman wants that. Even if she know you don't have that much money, she wants that optics. So when other women look in your direction, they see you're with a man that has a fat wad with hundreds on the outside. So I think personally, having the hundreds on the outside for modern women is more appealing. Now, again, you're from a different breed. You look at things differently. So for you, you're looking at it as that doesn't matter. But we're talking about the general consensus of women. Am I wrong for the way I'm thinking?
Nah, you seem on point with that. I'm okay with that logic because you're right. Thinking about it, if we're in that scene and you're right, I want to be flashy. I want to show off. If I'm being flashy and showing off, I wouldn't care. And you're right. Those 100 showing first or something like that, people are gonna be like, "Yo, I want to be her," or "I want to be him." They're trying to
Mm-hmm.
aspire to be those people. I just
But let
don't.
me let me ask you a question, Alrica. Do you think these are financially astute individuals walking around with watts in their pocket like that, though? I mean, for a date. I mean, think about this just think about this. Why in the heck would he pull out a wad of money in front of you? What is he trying to do?
You gotta
Right?
think
What is
about
he
it.
saying to do? What is his incentive to pull out a wad of money so you can see it?
For me, it's a red flag. You got to think about it. My background's banking. I started in
Mhm.
banking on my 19th birthday. So all I knew was financial savviness. That to me is the dumbest thing in the world. Do you know how many people lose a water cash? How many people get robbed for a water cash? Like, I'm just not that kind of person. I don't need you to do that. I'd rather you put it on a card and pay it off. Or I'd rather
Right,
you use the debit card because at least I know the money coming out of something and you're not charging
right.
it on a credit card.
That's
But
how I look
my
at it, right?
but that's my mindset.
But here's a question though, because we're looking at it from the lenses of our lenses. We're astute people. We make, sound decisions. But we're looking at Pookies and Ray Rays and those who aspire to go
And
after
they're
the
very
Pookies and the Ray Rays.
illogical with
Yes,
their
they're very
thinking.
illogical. So if Pookie and Ray Ray, all their motives is to do things that attract women. So if them having a wad of money is what women look for, those caliber of women look for, why would they not do it? We understand, that just makes you a ops. That makes, a target, so to speak. But if this is what their tactic is to attract women and women see it and they're looking at it as, oh, old boy got money, look at his car, look at the wad that he got, whatever. What's going to stop them from doing that? It's not going to stop them because it's a tactic that's working. And I mean, it's working well. Every other
Right.
night they got a different chick in their house or in their bed, whatever. So why would they stop doing it?
Correct. They're not, because the thing is, you'll have a breed of women that are going to attract that. The problem for me is because I think a little different than that. I'm thinking, okay, how much debt are you in? If you got 10 cars and you got no legit job, how much debt
Mhm.
are you really in? What's your
So
credit
you're
score?
saying, so you're saying this is the way women should logically look at it.
Correct. They should, because my thing is, if you want to be married and have kids, you have to think differently. You can't think, what is this fast cash going to do for right now? Because my thing is, fast cash a lot of times means two different things. It means quick in, quick out. That means they don't know how to financially plan a lot of times. That means they don't see anything past the right now. A lot of times with the Pookies, especially the ones that are in the streets, a lot of times they don't see themselves passing 35. So if you don't see yourself passing 35, how are you going to financially plan
Whoa,
for
whoa,
past
whoa,
35?
whoa. But first off, that's with us going the assumptions that all Pookies and Ray Rays are actually Pookies and Ray Rays.
Well, but that's what I'm
Check
saying.
Explain
this
that.
out.
Like, what do you mean by
Check it.
that?
I'm gonna break it out. I'm gonna let this clip explain it to you, ladies and gentlemen.
Go ahead.
Please play the 17-year-old Tupac, the interview. That's who he was.
I get a lot of friends because I have respect for women, ultra respect for women. But then, like I was liking this girl in Tam, and I'm extra nice, extra gentleman. I'm extra just like, oh, you're beautiful and you deserve the best. And she told me I was too nice.
Yeah, he was this innocent, almost, dare I say, somewhat effeminate type of dude, right? Like when you really look at that interview,
I couldn't believe it. It wouldn't work because I was too nice. that was the ultimate stab in the back. So I went through a week of just going, forget it, I'm just gonna be like them. Because they seem to get the girls and they call girls the B word, you know, and they smack and beat and they're getting girls.
He was a very soft person. That's who he was.
And I'm going, peace, and I think you're beautiful, and they're going to me, well, I like him because he's masculine.
2 years later, he plays Bishop. And that character that he created with Bishop influenced millions of people. And he stayed in that character because I literally would see him flip-flop from one character to the other because we would hang out, we'd play pool. And famously, people would say, your friend looks like Tupac. And they didn't think that could be him because he was more like that 17-year-old.
Needless to say, we're assuming Pookies are Pookies, but how many of them play that role of Pookie just to attract the women? Because I, for one, played the role of a Pookie, but I made sure I got my butt up to get us to work, kept a steady job, handled all my bills, did what I want to do. But I presented this aura of, I don't care about you. I don't give two rats about you. I'm going to do me, yada, yada, this, that, and the third. So you're assuming, Erica, that these Pookies look at themselves in that perspective. But men are hunters. We're going to do whatever it is that we have to do to level the playing field against other hunters, which are other men, so that we can get a piece of the crop also.
Let me build on that. Because I was that guy too. I was the original Tupac, right? I was nice and sweet and understanding and caring and all those things, accommodating. Realize that is not the way I need it to be.
You're muted.
No, I'm sorry about that. But yeah, I'm sitting here like, wow, I literally had to do that because normally I would never go and touch a woman without her permission, ever. But I knew I could. So once I tried it, it worked. Tried it again, it worked. Tried it a third time, it worked. So it was like, okay, so they want assertive men. Fine, I can be assertive. I can be leading. I can be that guy. But I was nervous as heck. Nervous as heck. They would never know, but I was nervous. I practiced my lines before I talked to them. You ever did that, Wally? You practice your lines? You know what I'm saying?
You run the scenario through your head like 30 different ways, yo.
All right, so I'm gonna say this. Is gonna make her say that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna say this. You know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, I'm in there. You know what I mean?
But now I'm gonna throw this out. But I'm gonna throw this out there too, though. Do you think the ones that really date the official Pookies would have dated you? Or
yes.
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna tell you.
I think so.
I'm gonna tell you why. Because the ones who really about that life and know that life, they will spot you out differently. Even if you practice your lines and you had that persona. I'm not saying it's gonna be everybody, but the ones that grew up in that life know the difference. They will know the difference by the way that they talk to you. They will know the difference by the way that you carry yourself compared to the way that they carry themselves. So yeah.
But this is what you're missing, Erica P. For me, if all I'm looking to do was to clap some cheeks, I don't care if you spotted me after I clapped the cheeks. At that point, you could go on your merry way. I got what I was looking for.
Correct.
I wanted to reel you in. And here's the thing. Like, when you're portraying that role of a Pookie to attract these women, you're not looking for a wife or a person to settle down with. You're just looking for a plaything.
You're not.
So like, women that, go ahead. Go ahead.
No,
go ahead.
Nah,
I was just saying. My bad. Go ahead, Gary. The floor is yours.
No, because what I'm saying is, she's right, and the respect that it is in fact the case. When they see the type of man you really are, it turns them completely off. Okay, because you're not the guy that they're used to. So it will definitely turn them off, which is why I always had like a and nice air about myself, whereas I'll be upfront as me and I'll approach them as me with the Pookie in the back pocket, right? So I didn't come out all Pookie. You know what I'm saying? I created a, what do you call it? A anti Pookie. You want to call it anti Pookie? That's what I've created. So I had the means to be a Pookie, but I'm trying to get my life together. You know what I'm saying? Like that was the persona that I had. So when they realized, hold up, this is just a really nice guy, they start to lose their interest. But just like Wally said, by the time they do that, it's too late. I already got it. I don't care. Like, well, I got what I wanted, and let's be honest, you was playing me too, but when I started being upfront with women, oh my God, that sold every single ticket I put out.
Correct.
Being
Because at least
upfront.
think about it. They can honestly make the decision if they want to deal with you or not. If you lay your cards out on the table, a lot of times people will deal with you. They ain't gotta go hunting for it. They ain't gotta go searching. They ain't gotta go play Inspect the Gadget on you. It's like, here, these all the cards on the table. I am 22 years old. I got a job that I get up and go to. I ain't got no kids, and I'm looking for fun.
But here's the
Oh
thing.
God, that fun line. Listen,
but here's
that
the
fun
thing.
line to get broad, that'll get you all the booty you want. That fun line.
But here's the part that we're missing though. Gary, when did you start being upfront? After you experience certain experiences, right?
Yes. After I realized,
because what I'm getting at is, if you have a person that's a virgin and they're like, yo, I'm ready to get some cheeks, this, that, and the third, and they're ready to start speaking to women and not getting their results, they're gonna go the Pookie route to get that experience. Now, once you get that experience and you become a seasoned vet, and you're like, yo, I'm tired of women leaving, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 because I'm not not the actual Pookie they're looking for. Now you go the route of being, more straightforward, whatever, because now it's like what you're looking for kind of changed, because you're like, yo, I got the cheeks.
Yeah.
I'm seasoned now. I'm a seasoned vet now. So of course it's easier. But for a new player, the new kid on the block, you really think he's gonna be up front?
Well, I mean, he can be if he's got the balls to be so. Like being upfront because once you learn who you are, the moment I realized who I was, and I said, yo, I can get women being me, I stopped trying to be everybody else. I didn't have to be anyone else anymore. Like I could be me, because it gets to a point where you sharpen your skills so much that you are that man that the woman wants, right? I can be vulnerable in front of women and not have to worry about them taking advantage of me, because the moment a woman tries that bull, I'm like, I laugh at her. Like, wait a minute, hold up, pause. You thought vulnerability was weakness? You serious? Like, you a foolish person to actually think that I can be taken advantage of because I showed you a little emotion. You know what I'm saying? That was, as a matter of fact, once I show a woman emotion and she throws that in my face, come on now, it's over. It's done with. I don't look at her the same.
But think about that's exactly how you just said. That's how certain women feel. I'm not gonna lie, because I looked at that early on. I was always okay. So y'all all know I went to all girl high school, so I didn't date early on because I went to all girl school. Did I have male
Let me
friends?
ask you this real quick, Erica P.
Go ahead.
Did you ever go date a Pookie or go after Pookies or anything like that ever? Or
No.
did they ever interest you?
No, they didn't. And the reason they didn't is because of going to all girl school, I saw how everybody else's relationships were playing out before I started getting into relationships. So I'm one of those people, I could see what they doing over there, and I'm like, that ain't interest me. I never went through that boy crazy phase, because I know, like, you get certain girls where they just go boy crazy. Like, I'm gonna say about that 14 to 16 age range. I never went through that phase. But then I also grew up on a block where it was nothing but boys. I was the only girl on my block growing up. So that was the hard part because it was like, oh, that's just everybody's little sister. So I saw what the guys were doing to these girls. So it was like, I had the inside track. They're like, oh, you the street dude? No, I'm stay away from you. Because
Let
I
me ask
saw
you
them.
this. Let me ask you this. Do you think the girls knew what was going on with what the guys were doing, whatever?
When they was young, no. Them girls ain't know. They were stupid. When you don't know nothing, you're stupid. You're blindly into those situations. And then you start coming out of them situations. You'd be like, wait a minute. Like, I got you one. So the high school that I went to, I graduated with 43 seniors. So it was a small school. You had guys that were trying to date the same chicks because they assumed we went to school out of the area that you could mess with a girl from Irvington and a girl from Newark and a girl from Patterson. The crazy thing is, if you played sports against the same girls if you went to all girls school. So because you played sports, that meant we were in the same kind of areas. The guys thought if they came from Patterson and talked to Newark, we weren't going to know your game. Or if they came from Linden, we didn't know. The world is too small. There were too many people that you're dating within what, a 30-mile radius? You know somebody that knows somebody. And because of that used to mess them up. Because I had friends who drove and friends who didn't. They assumed the girls that caught the bus from Elizabeth to go down to Newark didn't know no difference. And them girls knew because they was talking to other girls that went to the other girls' schools and had friends. So then it was like, wait, you talking to the chick that went to this school and the chick that went to school in Elizabeth with us and the chick that went to school in Clark? Come on. So a lot of times.
So what were their actions? Did they cut the dudes off?
But see, this is the thing. The girls were young. The guys at that time were older. So some of them put up with it because they were dating. You 15 dating a dude driving. So you're going to put up with a lot more stuff than you 15 and dating a dude with a bus pass. You did.
See, that's a different circumstance, so to speak, because you're young-minded, so it's easy to get manipulated. You get what I'm saying?
But think about it, though. That's what usually happened. They were like, "Oh, you go to Catholic school. Oh, y'all nice." And then what they do is they start. In my head, they were baiting these girls.
But here's the thing, though.
They're young, they're dumb. You mold them.
But you know what that tells me too, though? That tells me at a very young age that women were attracted to the Pookie, so to speak, because they wanted the guys that drive the cars, this, that, and the third, instead of staying in their lane with the guys that are actually in school with them, so to speak. Because you literally said they went after the older dudes who had cars and all this stuff.
Because that's what gravitated to them, though. And that's the problem.
Yeah, but why, though? Why? Because
women don't give a damn how you get it. They just want to know that you have it. See, that's the reason why the Pookies are seem like they're winning, because they get that quick money. Right.
Yep.
You know, they get that quick money. So now I'm able to be in the bins. Right. I'm in the bins because he knows how to get them the quick money. Whereas you and your little Toyota, where you got to go to work all day. You know what I mean? You too tired to take me out on Friday. You want to rest your feet and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Asking me to massage your shoulders and stuff. The Pookie's taking me out. He taking me to the salon to get my nails done, man. He's getting my feet done, man. He's doing all the things that I wish you would do, but you broke.
Or think about it. Those are the things that your parents was doing for you. And then it was like, you don't need this allowance no more? Okay. Because think about it. If you starting to get that allowance money, now you pocketing your allowance money. You pocketing that. And you just be like, okay, well, what else he going to do? Because the problem that I have is not all girls are like that, but I do feel like that's when they start molding girls into that. Because if you don't know nothing about that when you're 15, 16 years old, a lot of times you don't grow up to try to use a guy. The ones that try to use guys are molded like that.
So do you think it's it's bad on parents? How? Because the way I look at it, I'm like, yo, I want to provide my daughter with things so she don't got to go out in the streets seeking for these things, from other people, so to speak. So the way you're talking, it's like I gotta probably rethink this, because if I'm making her think like I can get her the things that she needs and she don't gotta go out and find them, once she become an adult and it's like, okay, now you're working, doing your own thing, you're gonna have that mindset of, I need somebody to provide for me, and it's gonna make you
No,
go seek that again.
no, you don't. And I'm gonna explain what my dad told me. My dad goes, the way I treat you as a dad is the stuff that you need to look for in a boyfriend or in a husband. Somebody who's going to be nice, somebody who's going to be
And
caring, somebody who's going to
there
give
you
you
go.
their time. The
Mhm.
money doesn't matter, because I'm gonna also make sure that you get up and you're able to do that.
Yeah,
You're
but
gonna be
you
educated.
listen, you had a father, okay? Most of these women
Mhm.
did not have fathers.
Correct. And
They'd
I
have
think that, but think about it though. I think that's why a lot of times people sneak in when they're younger, trying to give them that impression, trying to buy them, because in their mind, they're thinking, hey, this is how a guy is supposed to treat me, because they didn't have anybody else doing it. And I'm not saying this all the time, that's the thing, but I do tell you that's more likely than not when it happens. Or
But they
you
do have
see,
they do have some outliers, and
correct.
the reason why I say they do have some outliers is because look at the baby's baby mother or whatever. She grew up in a 2-parent household, but her main thing was, I want a dude out there, basically a Pookie, so to speak. Let me play that clip for you when she was running her mouth saying this.
Have Jada though. What do he gotta have?
I feel like to be my you gotta be hood. I only fuck with hood niggas. I don't want nothing that's not hood. You gotta carry a gun. If you don't carry a gun, I don't want you in my space.
Jada, like he couldn't be like a soccer player, like a $1 million soccer player. Like he gotta have that like gangsta greasy to him.
Or I'm
But
going
you
to the
are like a
corner.
suburban girl. Like you're
I know.
suburban.
I literally am a suburban girl, like private school, Catholic school. But I always was attracted to those.
So you just like a thug thing.
Yeah.
Okay, like what do you gotta look like? Do you want him to have like a nice physique, like, or he could
I like my niggas ugly,
just
cute.
a gun? That's all that he needs. Stuff.
Like,
She just want her man to be from the trenches.
Yeah, and have a little bit of street in them, because that takes you far. Like seriously.
She said that takes you far.
I'm still trying to figure out how she figured that.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I got you on. The reason that you get people from the suburbs because it's so far different from what they know. So because it's so different from what they know, they always have that aspire to, let me go take these trips to the hood. Let me go, like you start getting that persona of, hey, I think I like this more. But the reason they like it more, to be honest, a lot of times those street dudes they display more masculinity. If you come from a nice background, 9 times out of
What
10,
define masculinity here?
Please do,
because
when every time I hear a woman say they
yeah,
display more masculine, I'm like, where?
yeah, because
okay.
I don't see it.
when you react based off your feelings, that's not being masculine. That's
But to
more of
them,
that's more of a feminine trait.
correct.
Which
But to
tells me
them, they
that,
think it is though. They think that
see,
that's more masculine. They
this
think
is the
them
crazy thing.
by being dominant, that's being masculine. They think by them exuding confidence, that's more masculine. Like for them, that's what they assume. That's what they think. A lot of times, that's really not what masculinity is, but that's the persona that they have in their head. They feel like these people, sometimes they do have leadership skills. They might be trying to lead the wrong way, but they think that confidence gives them leadership skills. Or they get hey, if I'm in the street, people aren't going to bother me. And I think that's the more masculine image that they see. It's, I'm with this dude and I feel protected. She just said he got to carry a strap. What do you think people think they do when they have a strap? They feel like if you come step to me, I got the strap, you going to leave me alone. So for them, that's power. That for them is part of that masculine appeal. For
See,
me,
this is the
I'm on the
thing
opposite
that
end of the spectrum. That to
this is
me doesn't interest me, because all I see is red flags and jail cells. But
this is
that's my
why
personality.
this is why it irritates me when women get up and talk, because they don't know what the F they're talking about. They have no idea what masculinity is. Not even close. Okay, they don't know. Just because a dude is willing to chip somebody up because he's been working out and freaking been in all kinds of, he goes to martial arts most of his life. You know what I'm saying? He's able to chip people up because his hands are fast and stuff like that. Don't mean a darn thing. I will be that efficient too if all I did was work out and go to the freaking gym. I will be just as efficient, right? The problem is when that quote unquote masculine man hit real opposition, somebody that's not afraid of him and hit their hands is just as fast. But they've been holding that lion back for years. And then he comes out and he start unloading on his ass. Bruh, he'll piss on you. I will yo, you have no idea how bad I will disrespect you as a man.
Which is understandable, but the thing
See,
is, you're
see,
talking
see-
a woman's version of that. We don't know that's what guys are holding back every day. We don't. So
Like
because we
literally,
don't know
I
that,
will literally piss on you in front of your girl.
And the crazy thing about it is, like, don't get me wrong, I understand, like, people walk around with protection. There's people that walk around with guns. But you could tell the difference between a masculine man that is, very confident about his, because he's not looking to flaunt it and not looking for any reason to pop off. He's looking at it as, if I need to defend myself, I'm going to defend myself. At the same time, if a problem presents itself, I'm going to look to de-escalate as much as possible before I pull out my weapon. Because masculine men are very tactical when it comes to making decisions for a situation that can be life-changing. Because if I pull this trigger, it's a possibility I could spend the
My
rest of my
life is
life in
over.
jail.
My
My life
children's
is
life
over.
is over.
I
My
have
wife's life
a
is
lot
over.
of choices to make. Whereas a man that is not masculine is the one that's looking to pop off at first sight, this, that, and the third. He has the traits of a woman because he's reacting emotionally. And that's what women fail to realize. So it's like, are you looking to find a man that is the same equal to you, meaning react on emotions, all of this stuff, carrying feminine traits, but you're presenting them as masculine? Because that's what it sounds like to me. So I understand you're saying, hey, this is the idea that women have as masculine, but the definition that they have in their mind are more feminine tendencies than masculine tendencies, in my opinion.
Yeah, because they shoot off first before they realize the situation they're in, right? Like they don't have any. These men have so little faith in their future. It's sad. It's absolutely ridiculous how little faith they have in their future. They don't believe they're going to live to be 23 and 24 and 25, right?
Gary,
So
here's the killer part. Hold that thought. Here's the killer part that I just want to say this, right? Women want men that's going to give them security, financial stability, and the whole nine for their future. But yet the men they're choosing, they know they don't even see themselves living past
they
25
don't.
or 35.
There you go.
How
Which
does that
makes no
make
sense.
sense?
but
It
think
makes
about
no
who was
sense.
talking though. Think about it. This girl is 26 years old now. She is currently 26. So, or about to be 26. I think that was the case.
That's how old she was in this video.
No,
Or?
when she did that video, I think she was she was over 20 because they called her the baby mother at this point. But I looked her up because you gotta think about it. I don't be knowing these people like that. So I really had to Google her. This girl is under 30. You had a kid way before, in your early 20s. So yes, your mindset is different in your early 20s. She wasn't in my head, not really looking for oh my God, this is the person I'm about to settle down with. You the famous girlfriend of a rapper.
Yeah.
Like, think about what your interests are as the famous girlfriend of a rapper. You trying to travel. You trying to spend money. Like, you're looking for that fast cash. You don't know if he was going to make it as a rapper or not, especially depending on when you started dating him. You didn't know. You're a YouTuber, you're a modeler. So that means she always was interested in fast cash. You telling me her background, this is the direction she should have went?
Yeah.
No. If your background was school, what do you think you were supposed to do? You were supposed to go to school and continue to be start looking at some of those other things. She decided to change up the plan because I guarantee if you ask her parents what they wanted her to do by age 23 or 25, it may or may not be what she's doing right now. Because to them, if you're putting money into Catholic school, anytime you paying for school, I guarantee you're thinking the money that you're putting into different schoolings will net something better than what you had. Because parents don't take on that additional responsibility if they don't want you to succeed. Because if that was the case, you could have went to whatever school in Georgia was your home school. You could have done that. But when parents do that extra and above, it's because they looked at the school district, because they wanted a better life for you.
But do you think that's a slap in the face to your parents for them to do all that for you and you pick the fast life?
No, because you have to think about it. Parents know they could give you all of the opportunities and these kids are still going to do what they want to do.
You know why these kids are going to do what it is, well, especially women are going to do what it is that they want to do? It's because they have bad, and I mean bad, role models.
Yeah.
No, see, I looked up the parents.
Check this out. Check this out. No. What I'm saying is the parents can do as much teachings as they want.
They can.
But when you have bad role models like
friends,
this woman right here,
culture,
check this out. I got one even better for you. Listen to what Glorilla had to say to these young women that are coming up.
Hey ladies, how are you? I'm gonna call my twin, and I just want to let y'all know: be toxic for the rest of your 20s. You only get one life. Live your toxic 20s. You never get to be 20 years old, 21, 22, 23, 24, none of that ever again in your life. Be toxic, because don't get in your 30s thinking you could just go slashing tires and doing all this crazy shit. You too old for that now. You too mature. Be toxic for the rest of your 20s. And if you delusional, turn that shit up a notch. Enjoy the rest of your 20s. You only get to do this shit one time.
You see what I'm saying? And these young girls are but you know what? You say it's just stupid, but what do you see? These women put these women on pedestals. The Glorillas, the Sexy Reds, all of this stuff. Those women are like, these younger women are looking to inspire to be like these women. So when she come out and say this, what do you think that does to the psyche of the young women coming up?
That's hard. That is brainwashing these new generation of kids.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes, but guess what? That's the reality of the situation. And being the fact that they're not looking for their futures or anything like that, Gary, this is going to post up the video that you sent me. Check it out.
So let's break this down. Pookie is never the better option. He's just the easiest option to find because a lot of men are Pookies. So the probability of being able to run across one is very likely because there's a lot of them out here on the dating scene. So not only is it common to be able to find one and easy to be able to come across one, it's also a lot comfortable to be with a Pookie than it is a grown man who applies grown man pressure. Let me break this down to you. See, when you deal with a Pookie, a lot of these are men who don't have themselves together. And a lot of women understand that by dealing with these men, sometimes you feel like you the prize. Whether it be you make more money than him, you think you look better than him, you feel like you're doing him a favor by being with him. And so you feel like the prize in that situation. Women like to feel like the prize in these situations. But see, when you get with a grown man who got himself together, a grown man who is financially stable, don't have no outside children, this is a man who is emotionally intelligent, like the list goes on, a man who has standards, that is a lot of pressure to somebody who ain't ready to step up and be the type of woman who could keep that type of man, right? Because not only are you going to have to up the type of woman you are as far as how you act, because he will easily replace you. See, a man with options is
Facts.
completely different than a Pookie who just happy to have you because you the best thing that he's ever been able to pull. A lot of these men who truly have options, you're not the best thing he's ever pulled before. Right? He's dealt with women like you constantly. You're not nothing special that he's never come across before. But the Pookie that you dealing with will put you on a pedestal, let you talk to him crazy, let you do a lot of questionable stuff, make up excuses for your poor behavior because he likes the way you look.
I just want to say this. Something she said definitely stood out to me, right? How she said the quality men have options. And Gary, you probably could attest to it too. See, she is so right on that aspect because your lady, you may have dealt with a woman that had a fatter ass than your lady, longer hair than your lady, or bigger boobs than your lady, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, the overall package of that woman pales in comparison to the lady that you chose.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? Like they pale in comparison overall. So this lady right here is preaching. She's preaching.
Or whatever benefit that he getting out of you. But see, that man who actually has options, he not that impressed by your looks. He's had girls that looks just as good as you or better. He's had girls who had just as much going for them or better. And he understands that if you don't act the way he wants, he'll easily go out and replace you with somebody better. And a lot of women, you know that. And you don't want that type of pressure on you. You don't want to be in that type of competitive mode where you know you have to stay being a quality woman in order to keep this man's attention. It's a lot easier for you to coast by dealing with a Pookie where you don't have to do nothing but the bare minimum and just show up and he just happy to have you and allow you to act, be immature, be the childish woman that you are, and have all of these poor behaviors that you display, and he'll accept it because, again, he just happy to have you. And again, a lot of women understand this, whether or not they admit it or not, whether or not they are purposely doing it, or they really don't understand that this is what subconsciously is happening. A lot of women avoid men who really got their stuff together because they understand the pressure that comes with it. Another thing about these men who are better catchers of men, a lot of them, even the girls who've dealt with them, you can't get those men to commit if they don't want you. And a lot of women want these men to commit, but can't get these men to commit. It's a lot easier to get pregnant by a Pookie than it is one of these type of men, because a lot of these men think in the future, right? They may lay down with you, but they'll make sure not to get you pregnant because they don't want to deal with you in the long run. They only want to deal with you temporarily. So this is the reason why it's so many more women getting pregnant by Pookies than it is better men, because those better men are taking precautions to make sure not to get you pregnant because they don't want you to be their baby mama. They don't want any ties to you long term. But Pookie, he'll shoot the club up because he know he not going to be there long term. He know he has no intentions on being a good father, but he will mark his territory to have to keep in contact with you through a baby. But these men who know that they got options, they'll never do that because they on a hunt for their best option.
Talk slow, sweetheart. Talk
and you know what's gonna piggyback off of what she said also, because it's like the women, they pick the Pookie because they just want to go about, not having to level up their game. Check this out. When this dude asks these women if they would rather be with a dude that tells them no, I think 40% of the time, or would they rather deal with a married man that tells them yes?
Ooh, deal with a married man that never tells you no, or your own man that tells you no 45% of the time.
No, I'm dealing with the married man. Nah, I take the married dude. I'm sorry. I'm fucking with the married man. Married. I'm sorry. Tell me yes. Everything. Oh, the married guy. Yeah, give me him. I will deal with my man that tell me no because I'm going to beat him the fuck up. I'm taking the married guy because why am I with you? You keep saying no for. I think I'm going to go with the married guy. I don't like the word no, so. A married man. Married man. The married man. A married man. You're my little secret. My own guy that tell me no 45% of the time. A married man. Do a married man because 9 times out of 10 we sharing these Anyway, I mean, I guess I'm gonna have to take the married man. Like,
one person said
Yes.
It was two. It was only two.
No, that was the same woman. That was the same one. Yeah.
Another woman
Yeah.
said we sharing the men anyway. So what the
Yeah. Yo, which next week
Oh
live.
my God.
Next week live, Gary. I wanna surround next week's live around the fallacy that it's only men that cheat. Women cheat on an equal level or even higher, and the result of her cheating is worse than if a man cheated.
Higher,
Yes, yes.
It's too easy for them to cheat, right? Anywhere they go, they can cheat. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere they go, they can cheat.
I wanna predicate, set up next week's live if we could discuss that, if that's cool with everybody on the panel.
Yeah, we got that.
I bet. But yeah, you were saying like only one person said
that is bananas to me.
No, it's not bananas, dog.
No, exactly.
Look, Erica, I'm married. I know they're telling the truth.
No, I get it, but when you just asking randoms, and it's like, dang, 9 years that. Like,
and there's a phone and there's a camera in their face. They have no shame in their game.
Correct. But
and you know what that and here's the thing. You know what's crazy is women always talk about women empowerment, but yet these women are willing to step on another woman's toes and break up a happy home willingly.
Yep.
Just so that person can tell them yes. And here's the thing. We just had a conversation about women that were in their 20s that they're not looking at the security for the future. These women weren't in their 20s. Clearly, they're not looking for the future.
Because them jokers is like, I want whatever self-gratification is right now. You gonna tell me yes, I want it right now. And I think that's always been a problem for me. I feel like if you tell me yes all the time, that means I'm walking over you. That means we can't date. Because I've never wanted to date somebody that I always got my way. The problem for that is if I always got my way, that means you don't have a backbone. That means you're not leading nothing. If I get my way 24/7.
I cheated on my wife numerous times.
Yes, every chance I get.
Yo, I'll be trying to ignore his comments, but it's not.
Mike Griffin, you on point, dog.
That was hilarious.
I needed that. But but these are things I feel like parents should be telling their children. That is not acceptable and that's not okay. Because think about it. That could be your mama that's happening to. You're not going to be nice to the chick that's cheating, that's trying to take your mama's spot. You're not going to be nice. So why would you be doing that? Because my thing is, obviously you could tell these people have no interest of being married if you're okay with accepting dealing with the married person. Because you can't marry the married person.
Wait a minute.
Here's my okay, go ahead.
Let me say this, Erica. Do you honestly think married men care at all?
Married men don't. Because they know they still.
These women are tools to us. They're tools. Like, look.
Because they know at the end of the day, even if they cut off the side piece, they wife.
I can get another one just as fast.
But they wife is home. And if you. They wife obviously sometimes know what's going on too. I'm not beat for that.
Look, most of the times they know. See, this is the thing, man. What I do in my marriage is what I do in my marriage, right? So let's say my wife and we decide to have this discussion. I say, hey, babe, I want to do me, whatever. She say, do you, as long as you don't bring nothing home to me. I don't care. Just do you, right? When I go deal with these women, they know that I have an agreement with my wife. I tell them this deliberately, so they understand that you have no control over me at all whatsoever. So I'm going to give you the 10, 15, whatever 20% that I decide to give you. It's going to be amazing. It's going to be fun because you're going along the ride with me. You see, you're getting in my car. You're coming into my scene. You're coming into my experience. I'm using you for what I want to do with my movie. I'm not in your movie. You're in my movie. That's why one of the clips that I got to show you is going to prove that. I hope you got that clip because that's a really important clip. But we get back to it later. We don't care, right? We don't care. Like I'm not looking at you as some long-term thing. You already got the mentality of this is going to be a temporary thing anyway. 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe a month. If we really like each other, 3 months, 4 months, maybe. Great. When we're done, I'm gonna shake your hand, give you a severance package, and pat you on your head and send you on your way. Release you back into the wild.
Like I said, I understand that logic, but I guess for me, it's hard as the wife. No, I don't want nobody sloppy seconds. I want my own.
But how you getting sloppy seconds? You're the wife.
Sloppy seconds because think about it. That's not mine. That meant at the end of the day, if I put
as the wife or as the side
no. Meaning, if I think about it in my head before marriage, I didn't want to date the married guy. Why? Because 9 times out of 10, they do not leave their wives. They do not leave the wife.
Of course, why would I leave my wife?
So why would I want to choose the dude that is going to say yes part time? Because think about it. A lot of times they gotta go home to their wife eventually.
Say it again. Say it again. Say that line one more again. This is how stupid these women are. Say it again.
I don't even know what I just said.
You said why would you choose the guy?
Yes, part time.
You said why would I choose the guy that say yes part time
once a week?
Correct.
In my movie.
The thing, though, because think about it, right?
Wait a minute. They really think they're getting shit. I take you where I want you to go. I already know the prices in that restaurant. I already know the price at that daggone amusement park. I already know where I'm taking you. I am taking you to an excluded place where there is no malls, there is no jewelry cases, there's none of that stuff. So yeah, you can have whatever you want on the menu because you're not spending more than $300. I've already budgeted that. You ain't really getting shit.
And you potentially going to the creep spot. You ain't going nowhere that I know somebody going to know me.
Like, let's be real, man. We ain't taking these women to lavish places.
No.
It's nice to them, but to my wife, it'd be a shack. Yep. We're not upgrading these broads.
Correct. And I think that's the problem.
But
people are making that comment.
See, what you got to understand is for the men who are level-headed, who are doing the right thing, whatever, this, that, and the third, when they run into these women that are looking for the Pookies and the Ray Rays, the Pookies and the Ray, like my version of taking them to a fancy spot will always be higher than where a Pookie and Ray Ray would take them, because that's all Pookie and Ray Ray knows is the stuff that's in close proximity in the hood, so to speak. Whereas if I'm an individual where I'm looking beyond the hood, a spot that I might take them to is like, this ain't really upscale, but I know it's better than where Pookie was taking this chick. So she's gonna find it extravagant, like, oh my God, this guy really cares, and he's
See, this is why I have a problem with guys like you. You never upgrade these broads because it makes it hard for the next guy.
But it's not an upgrade though. Think about it. If you're somebody that eats in decent places, that's your normal. That's not
exactly.
But you said I'm taking somewhere that Pookie can't.
I didn't say somewhere. I said,
but think about it. You're not usually going to the hood.
Places. I know the places that I'm taking her is better than the average place Pookie is taken because I look beyond the hood.
But that's my thing. You are upgrading her. You are taking her out of her element, showing her better, showing her more. She's being upgraded by doing that. You don't take a woman that's used to Popeyes to freaking Olive Garden.
But Gary, if my whole plan is I'm just looking to get cheeks, this, that, and the third, blase blah, and me taking her to Olive Garden is nothing to me, why am I thinking about her past experiences of the Pookies that she chose before me? If this going to Olive Garden is pennies for me, why am I going to put in my trade of thought of, no, that just means that those Pookies, they're going to need to step their game up. That ain't got nothing to do with me because I have no future with this woman. I have no desire to have a future with her. So why should I take these guys into consideration when I'm just trying to have a good time tonight. They not thinking about me when it comes to dragging these women through the mud. And then as a good guy, I'm looking to, date this woman. She's already toxic and everything because of what these Pookies put her through. So if they're not thinking about me, why the hell I'm going to think about them?
I get that logic, but I mean, no, I'm not sitting here. Listen, I 100. I
know.
I totally understand what you're saying, and I get that, but it's not just. It's more of a what do you call it?
I get what you're saying. I can't tell me if I'm in the ballpark. If this is what her level is, why upgrade her? Keep her on that level.
Keep her on that level. It's cheaper, right? It's easier to get rid of her, right? Because if you upgrade her, she's going to be like you're. Once a woman say you're the best man I've ever met, you're in trouble. Right? Like she's not going to want to let go of you. So I'm like, I'm not really doing it for her. I'm doing it for me.
Yeah, but you got to think about it though. If that's not your common go-to place and you're taking her on a date, you're not going to go there anyway. I'm not going to start going back to Olive Garden when I go to authentic Italian restaurants. I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm accustomed to anymore.
Right, but
my thing is, if I'm the guy,
you hear what Erica said. I'm now accustomed to going to real so taking her to Olive Garden is a step down now.
But what I'm saying is, if I was a guy and that's what I'm used to, the authentic, no, she gonna have to come up on my level. So even if she decide, if we
that's not necessarily true. That's not as a guy. Nah, it's
you don't think you can go to where you want to go.
No, it's about convenience and proximity. If I just drove to you an hour, if it took me an hour to get to my house to your house in the hood, then I'm gonna look to take you to eat that's in proximity, so I don't got to do that much driving.
You anywhere that's too far from where you live.
Exactly.
I want to keep you in your environment.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. I am not taking you anywhere else.
Now, if you come to my area, okay, it might be a little bit different, but it should be my duty to vet you and say, yo, what kind of places like you like to eat at, or just to like try and like find, like dig to see what kind of restaurants or places you usually go out to eat and stuff like that. So I should do my diligence and vet that aspect of it.
I wish I would ask a woman where she likes to go.
I'm not saying, but how many dudes really be doing that?
Not where she likes to go. I'm talking about in the past, like when you went on dates, where was a few places you went to eat? Not saying like where would you want to? Oh, nah.
I'm not saying people are not asking them questions.
You can
they
tell
need to.
You can tell the type of chick she is by just listening to her. Just listen
That's
to
true.
her. You don't have to ask her those dumb. That's like, it almost seems like you're trying too hard at that point, right? These women are ratchet as hell. Did you not hear the clip? It's not even done yet. Did you hear the clip that you sent?
That's true.
They are ratchet as hell.
But think about the other one.
Like the word yes.
But think about the other girl though.
Hold on. It was this comedian. He said, he said, the woman's ratchet when she's excited about the salt shakers and pepper shakers.
Horrible.
You're like, you got pepper.
Miss Lamb is in the building.
Nice. Oh my God. Really? Wow. Oh man. She thinks she moving on up.
That's funny, yo. For real. But
oh my God.
Yeah. Wait, just so I'm on the same page with you, Gary, is the clip you're talking about is the prize one or the other one where dude is giving statistics?
Oh, the prize one. That's the one I was talking about.
Okay. All right, bet. Before we go into this discussion or whatever, we're gonna because we always talk about financials when it comes to Pookies and the Ray Rays and everything like that.
Joker, what's up, man? How you doing? Sorry about that.
Yeah. No, it's all good. It's all good. What about the situations where it's not about financials? It is not about money. And we're going to see what this young woman here had to say when it came to her picking her Pookie and Ray Ray.
I talk to, and he's 25. And he me amazing. Like, he does the job. I mean, he doing it well. But can he read? I mean, the dick is dicking. The dick is dicking. I mean, he rooted to the cooter. I mean, he doing it every day. But
here we go.
He got so many red flags.
So many red flags. Why you them?
Honestly, we don't really, as Triple says.
You ladies love to get mad at me when I say women are children. But this woman literally stood up there and said, because it's good. If that's not a perfect example of women are children, I don't know what is.
The fact that you got up here to ask us a question about somebody that has red flags, you already know he ain't shit, baby.
I got one thing for you that'll fix all this. I want you to ask yourself every time you get around him, right? Am I a Pookie picker? If he fits in that category, you're going to think to yourself, like, I got to get out of
Yeah, no, listen, if the best thing about it is his penis, he's a Pookie.
He's a Pookie.
So, yeah.
Bruh.
When it comes to
see,
Pookie
hold on,
picking,
wait a minute. Here's the thing. For everybody in attendance today, understand the only thing Pookie can be good at is his sex game. Understand, he has nothing else going for him. Okay.
Yes.
His duty is to lay pipe. That's what he does. Okay. He lays pipe. He don't work. Right. He don't produce nothing. He don't fix nothing. All he does is work out and lay pipe. Now, look at the type of women that he's laying pipe with. Do you think that woman, the way she talks and the way she responds and acts, she's going to be able to get a thoroughbred man?
See, that's what I was going to say, though. Think about it, right? I'm not going to lie. I'm going to look at
that man paying rent, bro. No, listen. Pookie's be getting rents paid with day pipe.
Correct. And think about it. She looked
Papa
like
was a rolling stone.
Check this out. I'm not even going to front because I was at one point a Pookie that I didn't work. So all it came down to was laying the pipe. And when I tell you, I made sure I excelled in that department because I knew, like, at the end of the day, this is what's gonna happen. This is the thing that's gonna mainly keep them around. Yeah, I have my own apartment and stuff like that, but it's like, dang, you got your own apartment and you laying the good wood, like. So when I tell you these Pookies, they take time to master and hone their craft.
Yes, they do.
You're talking they're gonna have the physique. Like, Pookie's got impeccable physique, yo, and they're like jackrabbits. Like, I can't compete with a Pookie who mastered their craft in that department.
Of course not. I work too hard. I can't. I don't
exactly. I work too hard. I got
and he's had multiple girls to practice on.
What? Yes.
So it's not because understand he's running through ratchet women. Now the plumbing works the same down there. It's similar, right? All he has to do is find the proper spot. Or you inverted. All right, cool. I got you. I'm gonna flip you on your stomach now. I know how to get that. You know what I'm saying? Like he studies this stuff. Don't ask me how I know that shit. Just let it go.
But anyway, think about how you're saying this, right? Think about that. That's what they do. They figure out, hey, if I can find a girl is going to be, they're going to shoot their shot at everybody. It's up to the girl to decide, hey, am I going to accept your shot or not? Right? So think about it. When you looked at her, right? In my head, I'm going to calculate over 30 because she kept saying he was in his 20s. You're not throwing he's in his 20s if you're still in your 20s. Right. In your head is he got red flags, but he young. So then it's like, okay, think about it. She might remember how when we used to watch Kevin Samuel stuff, it was like, hey, when you start hitting 30 or over, it'd be like discount, and you start over that, it'd be like remember he was saying the Salvation Army. She probably in that group of people. It's
but check this out though. If she's been looking for, like, let's just say if she's been dating blue collar guys who was working yada yada this, that, and the third, and sex is very important to her, of course she's gonna put up with the Pookie at 25 years old who put it down like that. Because you got to make a decision. is sex that important to me that I need this dude that's gonna knock my get my rocks or scratch that itch, but yet he has all these red flags, or go with the blue collar guy who makes good money, whatever, this, that, and the third, a good guy, yada yada.
But think about
And
it.
clearly it seems like she's choosing the dude with the red flags because she's making every excuse
I don't think she's
possible on that
choosing
panel.
the guy with
I don't
red flags.
think so?
I think she has no freaking choice at all.
And
I
that's what I
think
was
she
going to
has
say.
no
I don't think that's
choices.
a choice. I think that you got to look at proximity of where these guys are to her. How often are you throwing your net out there and where you socialize at? Think about it. How often, first of all, women ain't shooting a shot. You got a very selective few that's shooting a shot. So where are you picking up these dudes from? You picking them up from the
Good
club.
question.
You picking them up online. You picking them up from
No, we're gonna
church.
handle this. We're gonna handle this. We're gonna handle it. Don't worry. We're gonna handle. I'm just giving Erica some time. Go ahead.
Call it Joker. Joker calling it like I see through you, Gary.
But think about it though. Like these are
man, listen, yo, we go way back, Joker. But you listen. Hey, you real close to that wall, man. Real close. But seriously though, my wife and I, we had this conversation before, right? We really did have this conversation, and we was discussing this whole Pookie thing because we was actually considering doing a live with Pookie. Ironically, we're doing it today, but I said to her, babe, I'm a former Pookie. She looked at me with the way she took her glasses off slow. She looked at she's like, excuse me. I was a Pookie. She was like, I need to hear this. Please explain to me how you are a Pookie. So I started explaining to her, like, well, I was broke, I had nothing, and I had all this. I mean, I had nothing going with me, and all I had was and she said, "Hun, that's not a Pookie.
That's regular life.
Like,
that is
that's just
God growing up.
Like, yeah.
That's the
but
evolution
like,
of a guy.
Right, but that's what I said. I was like, she was like, no. Did she explain what a Pookie was? She said, this is what a Pookie is. What is it? Chris, what is it? I can't say what she really said. Never mind. But she said that's a Pookie, and I was like, okay, got it. And I just shut up. I was like, never mind, pull it back. So, Joker, next time you call me out like that, boy, we gonna have a problem now. You understand that? See, the truth comes out. Oh, really? The truth comes out. Did you listen to the whole conversation, or you just picked the parts that you wanted to, you cutting up and see, this is the thing. Everybody got selective memory around here, and I can't stand it. My wife she says I am not a Pookie, and I'm gonna go with her. I'm complete.
Nah, but I think every dude went through a Pookie stage, and every woman went through a slight whole phase or whole phase one time.
Slight, right? Okay.
One time or another, because not all of them went through a full fledged.
Why we gotta be all like soft and cuddly with the women? All right.
No, because I believe some women went through a whole phase, but not completely. Like a woman could.
Oh, Toya went through a whole phase. Luckily, it was with me.
Meaning, a woman could have went like one dude that she was hoish with, whatever, and that's as far as it went, and she wasn't out there like that. So it's like, you was just with your dude, whatever, doing whole things. That don't mean that you went through a serious hoish phase. You get what I'm saying? Because dudes, once we get to the candy store, it's like, yo, we're savages. Yes, no, maybe so. Boys growing into men does not equate to
Pookie.
Exactly.
As a Pookie.
Yep. I'm with her on that one. With her on that. That's
I gotta disagree, man.
You have to grow.
I gotta disagree. Because most dudes who, when they
First of all, we need to know what the hell a Pookie is. Let's just start there. Let's get the definition of a Pookie, because we talking about Pookie like we actually have a definition of what this man is. So what is
my definition,
Pookie, Erica?
My definition.
No, whoa,
he said Erica, and you start talking.
Wally
That's why I
P.
said my bad. Go
Wait
ahead,
a minute,
Erica.
Wally P. Hold
Yeah.
on. As a man, you're not allowed to describe a Pookie.
That's
Only
true.
women are. Okay. And only men are allowed to describe thoughts and horrors.
But wait a minute. Let me ask you this though. Wasn't it men that came up with the term Pookie and Ray Ray?
I don't know.
That wasn't a term that women came up with because women were just messing with these dudes, and guys would be like, "Oh, why you saying all of us aren't whatever, but yet you're dealing with Pookies and Ray Rays." I don't think women came up with that concept of
we
I'm
came up
dealing
with
with
Wasn't it a
Pookie and a Ray Ray.
movie that
We
had
came up
a
with
Pookie and a
Felicia.
Ray Ray in it or something? I'm
Yeah,
what I'm
Pookie
saying
was
is-
Pookie was
but what-
what is it? Chris Rock and damn, what was that
What
movie?
was that? Friday?
But
Am I?
No, it
Am I
wasn't
thinking the
Friday.
wrong movie?
no,
No,
that was New Jack City.
New
Okay,
Jack
maybe
City.
that's what it is.
But my thing is, women who are dealing with certain dudes, they're not gonna say I was dealing with a Pookie. Just like when it came to thoughts, women were the one who was saying, "Yo, you're dealing with a thought," so to speak. So
Is that
men
true?
weren't think women are the ones that labeled other women as, "Yo, you dealing with a hoe," or whatever the case may be. I don't think that was a term that men came up with because we're looking at it as we're getting our rocks off. Why would I get my rocks off and then from various women or whatever the case may be, and then turn around and be like, "Yo, these girls are whores or they're XYZ."
You
No,
do
And
realize that the profession of hoe go way back to westernized days, right? Hell, we had hoes in the Bible. Do you understand that? We just didn't call them that.
It does, but it does. But what the ones who were giving these women the labels were other women.
They were.
The reason why women didn't do certain things because other women would ostracize them.
Correct. The dude
Think
wasn't
about
saying
it. When
it.
you're
It was the
growing
girl
up,
saying
right?
it.
When you're growing up and a boy liked the girl, him getting that girl determined on if her friends found that dude acceptable. If that dumb friend said, "Oh, he's ugly" or whatever, she would disassociate with him even if she was interested in him because it falls on what the women around her says about that person.
Yeah, you know
Women
that I
move.
really can't stand that
Women move
thing for
based
women.
on what other women think. That's how they
Whatever that
move.
is, y'all. I can't believe to this day y'all haven't programmed yourselves out of that because that's very destructive. It's very destructive to y'all. It really is.
The crazy thing about it is that the crazy thing about it is that you'll get a woman who'll be the ringleader to deter that woman away from that man, and behind the scenes, she's smashing the dude.
Yep, that's why I'm trying
Because
to tell you, like y'all can't be listening to girlfriends like that.
Yeah.
But
I know I got a lot of dudes that was smashing the girlfriend. I know a lot of dudes.
Yeah.
Correct.
What
But
you
I
say,
was
Erica?
also, you got to think about it. I was always the friend that kind of just did what she wanted to do. People would have said whatever they would have said, but I still did what I wanted to do.
Yes, but we
that was
as we
always
learn
been
through these
my
conversations, you and Toya are unicorns. So these things
No,
don't apply to
I get that, but you got to think about it. With me and my friend group always looked at me was like, "Yo, we could tell her she ain't gonna care." So
She
I'm
ain't
like,
gonna
I
listen.
guess that's the thing. It's like she gonna do what she want to do. We'll be here when she come back, but he just. I've always been like that. I was like that in high school. I was like that in college. I'm still like that now. So I'm like, for me, it's mind-boggling that people don't always have their own sense of identity, their own thought. I've never been a person that had to be in a crowd and follow that cult mentality. That's never been me. My parents made sure that was not me. They let me try, enough stuff growing up to see if, hey, do you like dance? Do you like swimming? Do you like soccer? Do you like I had the opportunity to do that early on. So I didn't have to click with just one group of people. I felt like because I chose an all-girl high school because my parents gave me the choice. You pick out what school you want to go to. I went through the whole gamut. I chose the type of high school that I chose because they had more opportunities than some of the co-ed schools at the time. I was always a techie kid. I chose a school that had computers over a school that still had typewriters. So when you if you start breeding kids that have their own individuality, they become adults who don't have to have that cult-like mentality when it comes to choosing a mate, when it comes to them, exploring the world. Well, if my friends aren't doing it, that means I'm not doing it. I've never been that person. Shoot, my friends be like, all right, where you go? Where y'all went this time? Like, I was that person going, yo, I went to Jamaica and I did this and I did that. And I've always had that sense of adventure. I feel like if you don't have that little inkling of wanting to explore around you, you only focus on them same 12 blocks you grew up in. And for me, that would have been a sucky life. Because think about it, when you start listening to how females think, the ones that have that Pookie picker, as they said, a lot of times they're picking people that's in the area. So if you're picking people that's in the area that's gravitating to you, what's the easiest route to go? Like the other lady said, it's easier for you to be held to a higher echelon by the Pookies than it is for you to have to be held accountable for your actions with somebody else. So you're choosing them because in my head, that's a downgrade. You're not looking for somebody that's on that. And I'm not always saying it has to be an even playing field because sometimes it's not an even playing field. But when you're supposed to be dating, you should be dating with a purpose, dating to get to marriage. If you're dating to fill up time, guess what? In my head, you're blocking your blessings. Because if all you're looking for is a time filler, what happens when that expiration date comes?
And that's a bad move. Like, women do not understand how terrible of a move that is. Your life and your time is absolutely precious. I have all my life to decide. You have up to 40. You can't waste that time on Pookies, Ray Rays, the dude that flew in because he had the bread to take you out. No, you cannot be wasting that time. And yet women waste so much time. That foolish woman said, be toxic in your 20s, the most important years of your life. You're going to piss it away being toxic. Wow.
But to me, like you said, that is wrong. Because think about it. If you
hold
talk
that thought, Erica. Hold that thought. I just want to ask, are we going to drop the link so whoever want to call in can call in?
Good. Drop the link and they can call in as we talk.
We're trying to keep we're not cursing. So if you want to do, if you want to curse, then do not come up because we're not doing the cursing in this video.
Yes.
It's very hard for me, but if I can't curse, neither can you. All right.
Yeah.
And look, I'm a filtered person. I'm a mama, so I usually keep my mouth pretty filtered anyway. So I don't really curse like that.
All right, so there's the link. If whoever want to call in, they could call in. But go ahead, continue your thoughts, Erica.
But think about it though. A lot of times, your 20s are those times where you're trying to figure out where this relationship is going. I need to start doing that in my 20s because if you wait into your 30s, guess what? You may or may not be able to have that kid that you want. Some people want more than a kid. Some people want 3 to 5. So you have to be able to plan that stuff out. If you wait until you're 38 to decide, hey, I want to have one kid, you may have complications. What happens when you pissed away your 20s when you had the viable option at that point? You said, hey, I didn't finish school if that's what you want to do. I didn't started working towards saving to go get that house because people do it in their 20s every day. But then you also get people who wait to their 40s to go, all right, I'm financially stable to get this house. Like people's mindsets are always going to be different. And I get that. But I feel like we need to start breeding a culture where, hey, we need to teach this financial literacy first. I feel like we need to start talking to the men and the women of that age bracket because if you're pissing away your 20s, you get to your 30s and you're like, oh, I want to settle down. What if the guy don't want you because you had your whole phase? Not every guy wants a person that went through that.
Here's the thing. This is only going to work if the woman wants to learn, right? They got to come to us at this point. Like I was talking to Wally earlier today. I said, I'm done trying to teach women anything. I'm done. Like I'm over it. I'm over trying to talk to women who are just going to buck back and I need to have the last word and, just say, I mean, it gets to a point where I have to really ask this question to damn near every woman. Do you read from the same book as every other woman?
This is
because it's the same freaking rebuttals over and over and over. I can literally write a script around how women talk just by like, okay, she's going to say this next.
The problem is you got to look at the age bracket of the people right now. You have to look at who we're raising these people. Because my thing is change only comes when the females around them are the change. The guys can say whatever they want to say. A lot of times it's the way that the people are getting their information. If you're only looking at social media and it's always be toxic in your 20s, what do you think you about to do? That means they're getting brainwashed to be toxic in their 20s compared to their parents looking at them and going, hey, being toxic in your 20s lead to X, Y, and Z. Potential babies, potential diseases, potential woes in your life. When you start giving those real expectations to them being toxic in their 20s, I guarantee you'll start having, I'm not saying everybody's going to start changing, but you're going to have some people change because the problem is not everybody wants to be toxic.
No.
But if all they see is being toxic, what do you think's going to happen? So I feel like the parents of these girls got to do better. I feel like these girls got to look at what their parents went through and want to choose to do better. So they're
but you're
not
talking
repeating
about
the same cycle.
Yeah, but you're talking about a generation that follows the leader, right? Like they follow the leader. So you're looking at the Cardi B's, you're looking at the Beyoncé's, and you saying that's what you want to imitate. You know what I
But
mean?
guess what? They only do that because they're on. In my head, I feel like they may be on social media a little too much.
A little too much. They're always on social media. Have you ever tried to pull a woman away from her phone? It's impossible.
But that's the thing, though. You got to remember, I'm gonna
You
say
got women that
because
screw with their phone in their hand these days. Like, hold on, I got to make this text. Ooh, ah, ooh, ooh, ah.
But my
they
thing is that
text ooh, ah through their phone. Oh my God.
You got some that while they're doing their thing, whether it's not fellatio, I forgot what the other term is, but while they're going down on their partner or whatever, they're on their phone or texting and all of this stuff. Yeah. So if you can
That's
do
a
all
bad
those
mamma jamma. You can
extracurricular
do both.
activities,
Jesus,
if
multitasking
you could
at
do
its
those
finest.
exactly.
Hold on, I'm gonna order these cheeseburgers while I get you ready.
But see, this is the thing, though. My thing is, if people are starting to hold
they
people
don't
more
cook
accountable,
worth damn, and they don't cook. So, oh my God,
I'm done. I'm done with you jokers. But think about it though. Make it make sense. If people are holding people accountable by their actions, if the first guy that they say, hey, I don't like that while we're doing this, you don't think if they really want to be with that person, they're not gonna stop? Think about it. If I'm
why
telling
is
you,
this
being
my
on your
first chat?
But I'm like, I guess in my head it's like I grew up in an era where the internet was coming around. I feel like some of these kids need to be pulled back from it. I feel like it's too much. I can go without being like, I know I'm addicted to my phone playing games and stuff, but I'm like, I know there's a time and a place for that. I'm not gonna have my phone on me 24/7. I know how to leave it on the table and walk away, be like, oh dang, I'd have left the phone on the table for the last 6 hours. Like I could do that. The kicker
Yeah,
is
but you come from
people
a
don't always know
generation
how
where
to
you can
do that.
cut away from it. Now, Wally P, don't blow up a spot. Leave her alone. Let
No.
her have this.
I'm just saying. For me, I'm gonna be in mid thrust while putting an Instagram post.
Go ahead and post the wrong thing if you want to. Post the wrong thing.
You won't be thrusting nothing for years.
Mid thrust and post, but nah. You get some people who do. Like it's ridiculous how they're attached to their phone. Like, one thing I wanted to give pushback on though, Erica, is you were saying, people how they stick to their proximity as far as when it comes to the dating. When we're speaking about people living on their phone, you don't have to stick to your proximity anymore. Women, you see women getting flown out left to right, in these situations dealing with like Pookies from the distance.
Right.
Okay, we got a caller. You want to put the caller on?
So
Come on.
Sharon is calling in. So all right, let's hear what Sharon got to say. Hey, what's going on?
How are you doing? I'm fine.
Not too
Hello.
bad. Not too bad. All right. So yeah, what do you got for us? Because I know you've been going in on the comment section. So
No, I don't got old, so I don't care to get married anymore. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I'm
you
like
don't care
this.
to? Why is that? Why is that?
I don't reach up in age. So I'm not looking for no one. I mean, I date. I mean,
Okay.
I'll date, but I don't want to be married. I'm good. But I have
Okay.
kids.
Why?
They're
Explain why.
they're about
Is
20s
it?
and 20s. I mean, I come in my life where I lost my father, and I can't find nobody like him. I don't want to be married. If you're not gonna be with me to help me financially and be there like a support for me, like how I see my mother, my father. That's what I want. If you're not gonna have my back and I have your back, it don't make no sense of me marrying you. I understand about the Pookies and the Ray Rays. Everybody wants a Ray
Yeah.
Ray. Everybody wants a Pookie. Who the hell wanna lay down with a Pookie? You ain't gonna get nothing from him but a wet ass. That's about it. If you have a
Yeah.
Ray Ray, you have a better financial stability with a man that's for you and gonna be with you all the way around. I'm an island woman, so I basically it don't matter to me. I don't live my life. I really don't want either one of them. I just be to myself. I mean, I'm not angry or hating, but I see a lot of comments on
Yeah.
here. People have their own opinion on what would they want in life, but really, you don't want anybody to come in your life that's toxicity. Basically, you want somebody that gonna treat you like a queen and be there for you and have your back.
Got you. What island are you from? If you don't mind me
I'm
asking.
from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I'm a mixologist. I mix up in different islands.
Got you. Okay, got you. Got you. Yeah, that's one thing I will say. A lot of when it comes to Caribbean, because me, I'm Haitian. I'm Haitian American, so
Okay,
I
what's up?
understand.
Okay.
Yeah, I understand the whole Caribbean mentality and everything like that. And the crazy thing is that Caribbean, like for Caribbean women, it's very hard to find like a American man, so to speak, American black man, because of the different, like it's like a different mentality from being in the Caribbeans as opposed to being in America. Why is
You're
that?
right.
I don't know.
I don't
It's
know
just a
neither.
different mentality with upbringings and everything like that. Just like for a Caribbean man, it's kind of hard to find an American woman. Is it possible to
Right.
do? Of course it's impossible. Of course it's possible to do, but it is hard because of the difference in upbringing. Most times Caribbean women are raised to be wives, while
Right.
American women are raised to be independent and be strong.
Right.
So
That's true.
when men are running into that, as far as for American women, the independence and everything like that, that's kind of like they start to be entrained where it's like this is how a woman has to be. So when they run into something
Right.
different, to them it's foreign, just like it's foreign for women who are looking for Pookies and Ray Rays to find, a good guy. To them it's foreign, and it's like, whoa, I don't know what to do
But why
here.
would you want a Pookie?
And
He's not gonna do nothing for you. A Pookie is like it man. You just a Pookie is somebody you play around when you're 20 and 19, then you throw his ass to the curb and go find you a real man. The Ray Ray is what you looking for. Financial
yeah.
stability, somebody to wine and dine you, somebody to
Hmm.
rub your back at night time when you sick, somebody to be there financially stable for you. Basically, I don't reach a point in my life. It don't matter to me. I've run into Ray Rays. I've run into a lot of Ray Rays. At that time, I probably wasn't ready to settle down and be married. I was more
Yeah.
focusing on myself, trying to build on yourself. You can't come into the table with nothing. You have to have something to match with that individual. Basically, you gotta build a foundation on what you want in life. Life ain't no game. You have a lot of men out there want to play the field, but don't know how to play the damn ball game. My father
Oh
always
yeah.
installed a
Yeah.
game with young women. There's five of us. Five young women. All
Mm,
of us does well. All five of
mm.
only one of us, my sisters are married. Two of them are married. The other one, she's not married. But we all do good for ourselves. It's nine of us, and all of us still alive and kicking. But you don't want no damn
Got you.
floozy woman, and no man want no floozy woman
Yes,
either. You gotta have
I
both.
agree.
You gotta come willingly. If you don't have a godly heart, it's not gonna work. Period.
I agree. I agree.
It don't make no
You
sense
know,
going back and forth. Huh? Go ahead. So what did you
I was gonna say, you know what? It definitely sound like, you have a good head on your shoulders. You know what it requires as far as like, um traditional relationship, marriage and everything. You seem to have a good head on your shoulders on that
Thank you.
department. So don't just think, hey, I'm not gonna get married, whatever, or anything like that. Like, I'm pretty sure the right guy will come around, and just be open minded, because you never know, the right guy could be around.
Well,
So
thank you.
yeah, always keep an open mind, because at the end of the day, it's about us bringing each other together, women, men and women, because at the end of the day, we definitely need each other. No matter
Hi,
how much we
Erica.
could say I'm
Hello.
independent, no matter how much we could say,
Hi,
oh, I'm
Gary.
independent, this, that, and the third,
Hey,
life
girl,
is
how you
much
doing?
easier doing things,
You right.
together.
You right.
But what I was
Yeah.
going to say is, I was going to rebuttal on what you said. Those are all the things that my parents instilled in me growing up. I'm not an island girl, but most people think, because I was raised traditionally, that my parents were, and they weren't, but they had the same logic. It was, hey, you date with a purpose. You always have to think of what those consequences are. And I think that's the problem. You are having more and more people who don't think of the longevity. They're looking at self gratification right now. And if that's all they're thinking, how are you supposed to plan? You can't plan for a future if all you want is right now and you don't see anything past the trees.
Right.
Agreed. Agreed.
Growing up, you see, like how I grew up in the islands. Basically, I know about the islands because my mom is from St. Kitts, my dad is from Antigua. Basically, we're mixed up with different islands. You gotta learn one culture to another culture, and then when people meet
Mm-hmm.
you, like one of my kids is for Caribbean, my other two is American. I'm with neither one of them. I mean, they are financially stable. I guess they weren't the men for me. But I mean, I'll find a man that fit my that I mean that I can relate with. Someone that will have your back spiritually. If it's not spiritually, it's not gonna work. Basically.
Yeah, I could agree
Yeah,
with that.
I agree with
Spiritually
that.
does help. And as much as people, like, I don't want to bring religion into it, whatever, but a lot of people who said whenever they got married or whatever the case may be, they followed the biblical way of doing it. A lot of them wind up having successful marriages.
That's
So,
true.
Because
My
those
father
are the
and
yeah,
building
mother,
blocks.
well,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah,
For instance, my father and mother been married for almost 50 some years. Well,
hmm
I used to. He's deceased now. I used to ask him, "How you still married to my mother for so long?" He said, "That's a walk. That's a lot of walk you got
it
to put in."
it is.
Listen.
Yes,
No one, and we're going to get to Evil Black Cat's question in a second, but no
yes,
one will ever tell you that marriage is easy.
Mm-mm.
It is always going to be work to be done. All right.
What she
yes.
say in the
God make,
islands? They say what?
does the government
Does
in
the
the island
government in the
provide social
islands
yeah.
provide social services? What she mean by that?
Well,
Like,
do they do like Section 8, food stamps,
Yeah,
stuff
what
like
the
that?
hell she? Hold up. You know what? These supposed to come my hand talk all kind of shit. Hold up, back up. Wait a minute here. I mean, the islands got everything. The island have social services. They have stuff for mental health. They got everything they have in there. What do you mean? I don't understand your question. Where
He
I
wa-
they
get
he
wasn't
he
money?
wa-
sure.
When I
They
come
were they
finish.
He
no,
wants to
they were
know. He doesn't
they
know. He
was
doesn't know
asking,
Same
enough.
yeah,
thing.
because they
They were
don't
just
know.
asking the question.
They were asking to be informed. That's all. They weren't like,
For single
trying to say,
mango, I
oh,
couldn't see because I ain't got my glasses on. I couldn't see. My bad.
yeah. They were
I
asking
Mhm.
like, hey, does the government in the islands provide social service for single mothers? Like asking like a general
yes,
question,
of
so they
course.
know. Yeah.
Okay.
Winning is
Nah.
in the house. What is up, winning reality?
Yeah.
We doing our thing over
I'm
here,
happy.
enjoying
Thank you.
ourselves. having
Thank
some
you so
good
much for calling
Thank you
in.
for
Have a
calling in,
wonderful
Sharon.
day.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We gonna
Not
see you
appreciate
back
you
in the,
calling
we're gonna
in.
see you back in the chat.
All right. Right.
But yeah, man. So but back to what I was saying, like marriage is not easy, right?
It's not.
It's not. But see, and it seems like it's easier for you to pretty much, what do? They what's the word? They switch out partners, right? They think that's going to be easier. They think that's better. They
Yes.
think it's not. It's
The
not
evil
better.
sometimes the evil is what is it? The evil is I
Mhm.
forgot the phrase, but it's like sometimes the situation that you're in, you know all the in and outs, so you're better dealing with that situation than trying to learn a whole new program and then have to
Mhm.
deal with that on how to, maneuver and come to a understanding in a situation that you have no idea about. It's better to stick with the evil But
Yeah.
that's all I have to say. Go ahead.
Well, of course, because you're comfortable with it, right? And this is
Mhm.
why women constantly, and men at this at that in that matter, but we're talking about women at this particular point. That's why a lot of women say, no matter what I do, I can't find a good man. It's like, no matter what you are willing to do will get you the ability to find a good man, because what you're willing to do is giving you the same man that will accept that, right? You're not willing to advance yourself. You're not willing to adjust who you are. Nobody's saying you have to change your core. It's not about changing your core. It's your behavior, it's your response, it's dealing with your triggers, it's dealing with your emotional baggage that is working on yourself. And when you're not willing to do those things, you expect the person that's coming in just to accept that bullshit, and they can't.
Yeah.
Damn it, I curse, my bad.
It's all
That
good.
to protect, to accept that mess, and you can't expect somebody to accept your baggage like that. Now, am I saying do you have to be perfect when you meet your mate? No, because you can never be perfect ever. If you are constantly running to men or women that you're dealing with saying to you, "Hey, you do this." If you ever say, my last person tried to control me and tell me that, okay, so that's a you thing. You should be scratching your head saying, "Dang, this is the fourth freaking person that told me that I do that." Jeez,
Yes.
I really
Yep.
gotta look into that. Where's that coming from? And sit with it. Those are the type of women that I can work with. I can work with a woman that's willing to work on herself. I can sit there and we can argue for days on end, as long as she's willing to work on herself and not get up from the table and run like a lot of women do. I'm willing to work with her. But when she starts getting to that point where she's defiant, deflecting, and you can't say anything to the woman, listen, it's time to let her go. I can't. There's no point of me, because even though I have a lot more time than you, I don't have all the time in the world.
All right.
So I'm not about to sit here and play this game of, guess what I'm thinking. I'm not playing that game.
Yeah, I agree.
I get what you're saying. I pulled up what Evil Cat said just because to me, I feel like they go hand in hand. I feel like this particular post.
Read it for the folk.
It says a lot of women these days gave away the values that men want in their younger years, then turn around and raise their standards in their later years.
Boom.
I feel like they're doing that because of those posts about being toxic in your 20s. I feel like they're doing that because people aren't talking to them earlier on in life. I feel like
here's what I feel. I feel like the reason why they're doing this is because there's a stigma of older men going to get younger women.
There's always been a stigma.
But that right there needs to change. Young men don't know how to deal with young women. They don't.
But now, and I'm a laugh because I can remember my great grandmother telling me old men got worms. And I'm gonna tell you why she said it. I felt like
Old man got worms. What does that mean?
Okay. So that's why I said, let me
Wow, that's
explain.
heavy. Like I'm like, wait a
Yeah.
minute, hold up.
But she told me that when I was in high school. And the reason she told me that when I was in high school, because she said what would happen is because you're young right now, you don't know how to pick who you're going to gravitate to yet. So she said, look, I'm going to tell you this. Old men got worms. You have to think about what they're saying and take it with a grain of salt sometimes. When you're at that impressionable age, you think, oh, this is my first boyfriend. This is the first guy that's showing me interest. She goes, you have to ask him questions. The reason I said worms is because she goes, think about it. There's a lot of worms. She used to always use like these little plant analogies and that kind of stuff. But when you dig in the dirt to plant a plant, what's the first thing that pops up? You see worms come out the ground. So she goes, those are always going to be the first ones that gravitate to you. They're going to start looking at you going, hey, you're starting to have those changes that guys are going to start looking for. So if you're starting to have those changes, the older ones are going to gravitate to you first. They're going to gravitate to you first because one, you don't know anything else. So if they start planting their seeds in first, they're going to go, oh, I could plant the seeds in. That means I got you. That means you're not going anywhere. Which, and I understood that, but she
that's
goes,
the point.
correct. But you don't want to be 16 and going too old either, because think about it. That's predator stage at that point.
Well, who's
If you're-
dating a 16-year-old? Listen.
But think about it. I told you
let's
I went to an all-girls school. So you had 24-year-olds dating 16-year-olds. That to me is a problem. You had, because they were driving, because they had what the 16-year-old thought she needed at the time. You
So
can't.
you think a 24-year-old is that wise? Come on now. 24-year-olds are dumb.
It's dumb, but think about it. If you're 16 and you don't know anything either, because you were dumb too at that stage of life, because you don't know anything else. You went from playing with dolls to talking to boys. You don't know what's in between. So if you don't have anybody that's telling you, hey, these are the things to look for at 16, what do you think is going to happen?
Now listen to what your grandmother said, right? Listen to what you just said about, planting the seeds.
Correct.
And then hear what you said when there's no one there to what? Teach you. There's
Correct.
no
Everybody don't have that grandma telling you those things.
Hold on. Your grandma has half the information. She
Correct. My
has
grandfather told me to think about it. She told me one half, and then grandpa had to come in. You ain't let me finish. Grandpa had to come in and smooth it out too. It was, you have to have those open conversations with him. Yes, he may come to you, but you have to start looking for those qualities. So you got to put what great grandma said and what great grandpa said and put them together. If you only get in great grandma's side, guess what? You're not going to succeed. And if you only got great grandpa's side, you're not going to succeed. Same way with mom and dad.
See, but the problem is nowadays though, women are only listening to other women. They're not even trying to listen to men's sides. You want to know how I know?
And that's what I was going to say.
But do you want to know how I know that women are not listening to men whatsoever? Because men are telling women, this is what I want in a woman. And if I have these things, I'll be more than happy to put a ring on it. But women decide not to, and they're sticking to their guns of, hey, this is what a man got to bring to the table. And whatever the man is asking for the table, it's take me as I am.
I get that too.
And
All right, we got another caller.
I want to ask you this. Before we let the other call in, I want to ask you this, Erica P.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it that women will put up with all this crazy stuff for Pookie, bend over backwards for Pookie? If Pookie says XYZ, jump, she's like, how high, this, that, and the third. But yet, the men who actually want to build with these women will tell women, hey, I want a woman to be able to do this, do that, do this, do that. Simple lists, because men's list is nowhere near as high as the things that women expect from a man. A man will literally tell a woman, this is what I expect from you, and she will totally not do it. What is so hard about not doing the things that the man asks for? Because this is what I see women will do. Women will listen to a man say, These are the things I want the man to do. But they'll turn around and do what they think this man should be getting. Well, that's not what the man asked for. Prime example. What do I mean by that? To break it down in a better way. A man will be like, yo, I want at least sex 3 times a week or whatever. A nice cooked meal. And I don't know. We communicate. We communicate a little bit. She'll turn around and think cleaning the house and this, that, and the third and blah, blah, blah are the things that this man need. And it's like, that's not what I asked of you. But she'll turn around and get mad and be like, well, I'm doing X, Y, Z, this, that, and the third. And it's like, okay, that's nice you're doing it, but this is the requirement I asked of you. All this extra stuff, that's what you're choosing to do. But women will sit there and think these things that I'm doing is what you need. Why is that?
To be honest, sometimes they're not listening. I could say they're either not listening or they don't care to do what's being asked of them. If you're telling me,
no,
I'm let me finish my train of thought first, though, because you have to think about it. If they think what you're asking them to do, it might be important for right this second. Do they feel that that's going to be the requirement the whole time? They don't know. You have some people that are like that. Then you have people on the opposite end. It's like, okay, I'll do enough to say, all right, I'm going to do it. But did they really put the effort and time in? I know I have that fault sometimes. I feel like I might put it on a list. And sometimes I'd be like, you know what? I forgot what I was supposed to do. And then on the flip side, is this person still giving them that, hey, every once in a blue? Remember I said I really like this, and this. You know, you've fallen on it. Are you holding me accountable for that? Because sometimes if you're not reminding that person, especially if that's their mind is wandering, maybe they need that constant reminder. Like, hey, are you going to plan cooking? What you cooking this week? Like sometimes you might need that extra push. Now, on the flip side is you have some people who, honest to God, be like, I'm going to do what I want to do. And you're going to take me as I am. If that's how that person is, then yes, you may have to start looking for somebody else. Because you're right. When people aren't being held accountable or they're clearly not doing what their partner is asking them to do, especially if it's not that much and the person is doing everything for the other partner, those are open, honest conversations that need to be had. You have some people who, honest to God, forget. If that's a forgetful thing, then yes, maybe maybe I need a church or maybe I need a things to do list. That might be that person.
I'm sorry. I think people saying they forgot whatever is.
I think that's horseshit.
I think that's just I think that's just an excuse that people want to hold on to. Because if my significant other or a person I'm talking to tell me, hey, whatever I'm doing is not up to stuff, they expect this, that, and the third, that's gonna stick in my head as a glaring whatchamacallit, because I do not want to fail that person on whatever it is they're telling me about, because that leap opens the doorway or leaves the door open for them to possibly go in left field. And then if they go in left field, I'm sitting up there looking stupid like, well, I don't know why they went in left field. No, you know why they went in left field. They asked for XYZ. You didn't do it. So what did you expect? So I find that as an excuse for your partner or your significant other or the person you're talking to tell you, hey, this is what I'm looking for, especially with all the competition that goes on, that's out there in the world nowadays. So much competition.
Oh my God.
Women throwing their panties at dudes like it's nothing. Dudes throwing money at women like it's nothing. And you're gonna forget what this person is telling you, what's gonna keep them around.
Talk slow.
Then that's you being stupid.
Yes.
Plain and simple. That's you being stupid and you willing to lose out on the person you're with.
And on the flip side,
that's how I take it.
On the flip side, you have a whole bunch of men that don't have any spines, right? Because these women are so used to men.
Hold on, Steve. We're going to let you in after Gary make this point, but go on.
Okay. Because a lot of women are so used to men not having a backbone and just accepting them for who they are. Men say, well, if you do this, and then the person don't keep up their end, they feel like they can walk all over them because they can. I remember having many conversations with my wife, and this was in the dark ages where, you know, there was like pillaging and moving of furniture and holes being plastered and stuff like that. You know, it was in those ages. When I got to a point where I got tired of talking to her, I just started saying, okay, this is what we're going to do next. Okay. Since I can't get you to do anything that I'm asking of you, I'm going to expect you to do this, that, and the third. All right. Well, what do you want me to do? What do you want to do? That's out of my hands now. This is your responsibility now. Once she started realizing and feeling that responsibility, things started to change because she started realizing, hold up, this is a lot more weight than I anticipated. Because at first, you know how it is. Women get all defined. I can do it. I can do whatever. I can do it. And then they'll get out there and like, whew, this is a lot of work. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yeah.
All right, well, we're gonna add Steven. I'm gonna go ahead and put him in.
Steven, Evil Black Cat, you'll come on next. What's going on, Steve?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes,
What's
we
going
can,
on, brother? How you doing?
Steven.
This conversation really hits home because I just went through it. I had moved in with my ex. I had moved in with my ex and realized we were not compatible in terms of she was always a victim. She had that victim mentality that I don't vibe with. And she looked at the world very negatively. The whole world was against her. So earlier you guys said people can change. I was wondering that too about her, but I'm not sure if people can change at their core. Because once, in the future, kids, stress come along, you go back to your core. So
I have a
really hit
rebuttal
home.
for that part. What I feel like is people change when they want to change. And it has to be a reason for them to want to change. I feel like if it's because of outside factors, the other partner, they're not going to change. Because my thing is, you're right. People always revert back to what they're comfortable with and what they do. So the only time that somebody successfully changes is if they made the conscious effort and they decided, hey, what I'm doing, there's a better way to do it, or it doesn't work for me anymore. So I'm an advocate of that. I feel like people can learn to change, but they have to make those conscious efforts. And
I'm
it can't be
sorry.
something that's forced on.
Wait a minute. Lloyd,
don't address it yet. Don't address it yet, Gary. Don't address it yet. Because we got a caller on the show. We got a caller on the show. Don't address
why you put it up? Why you put it up? You shouldn't have, don't bait me like that. I was trying to put it up.
Just hold that thought. But
okay, go back, Erica. I'm
okay.
sorry. Whew. Yeah. I'm hot under the collar and I don't even have one.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that I think that's my logic on that. It is. You're right. If you're trying to get them to change and they're just not doing it, it's because subconsciously they really just don't want to do it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that, Steve.
But go ahead.
You said
continue.
You said that situation you left out of it.
Yep. About 2-3 months ago, she moved out because I just couldn't deal with it. And the forgetting thing was big too. She, we divvied up the chores. I was doing most of them because I work at home, but she wouldn't even do like her little part. So that was because she forgot. So I don't know how I feel about the forgot thing, but I definitely heard a lot of that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like I said, man, I think that forgot thing is something that is used as an excuse because if I'm giving you the blueprint of what's going to keep us, at peace, so to speak, and you forget it, it's like, what are we doing here? If you really value and want to hold on to what it is that we have, then these are things that you should hold on to. There's something that should be dear to you, So.
Yeah. Now I have a question.
Yeah, and I think,
no, you go say something. Go ahead, you can talk.
I was gonna say I'm the demographic you guys are talking about. I'm 26, so I'm dealing with the young women, So she was 24. I think that's the demographic we were talking about.
Yeah, yeah. Just a quick question for you. Being at 26, whatever, do you run into like a lot of toxic women at your age right now in the dating scene, or?
If I see it on the first date, it doesn't go past that. I'm dating with a purpose, so You know, I don't.
Got it.
Yes, there are
Got
many,
it.
but I don't move on with anyone just to do it.
Got it. Smart move, brother. Smart move. All right, yeah. Anything else that you wanted to speak on? Because we got other callers lined up and everything, so we want to get everybody in.
Yeah, just a conversation at home, so I figured I'd call in. And I think did Gary have a question for me?
Yeah, I have one question for you. When it comes down to why you moved her in, because I really would like to know what caused you to move a 24-year-old woman into your home before any real commitment. I just want to know what caused you to do that.
I saw a future with her before I lived with her, right? I thought I seriously thought she was the one. Let's say,
projection.
You know, our life plan was the same. We have the same culture. I know her family. Like, I thought it was it, and just didn't see before then all the problems. So that's why.
You sound sore behind this. Are you sore about it?
Not anymore. I'm fine now,
Okay.
but at the time it hurt.
Yeah.
I will say this though, I'm glad that you did opt to, you know, have her move in and you figured this out now before you actually, you know, tied the knot and everything like that. So
for sure,
kudos to you for at least figuring that out before you went that extra step.
Yeah, that's a good thing. All right, thanks for
and
having
from
me.
now on, Steve, from now on, and listen, do whatever you want in your life. Don't take my advice, but if you choose to take my advice would be don't get into anything that's serious until you're at least 30. Okay? Just because it's too much. It's too much of a risk for you to be moving anybody into your home. When you start melding finances like that and starting to live as if you're married, she can get you without you ever saying I do. And I'm sure you know
Well, what
that.
if people want a family before 30? That doesn't work either, you know?
I
Like,
mean,
I don't want to
okay,
wait.
if you want a family before 30, then
Then that's
listen,
your
you're gonna have,
choice. That's your personal choice.
but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there's got to be some type of progression there, right? Like you gotta move on it if that's really what you want. And I'm not saying that you can't do that, but in this dating climate, the odds of you finding somebody that's worthy of that, you're gonna have to start. Listen, if you're gonna do that, insist on paying a dowry and talking to a father. Okay. Insist on talking to a father. You have to see where she comes from. You said you loved him and everything like that and stuff like that. At least do something. Just focus on talking to the father. That's the because I don't want you getting messed up out here. This is dangerous out here. You got women out here that's plotting like crazy.
And
yeah,
you
I think
being 26, and you trust me, you being 26, no kids with your own place, you're a prize. Like you're golden.
You are
right
a prime suspect for the take.
I really want a family. I don't know what else to say. You know, that's kind of the goal
I get
here.
it. Look, if you want a family and that's what you're focused on, I am not gonna knock it, brother. I am not gonna knock it. Because if I could do it all over again, I would have did what I did in my 20s this way. As my children get older and older, I'm able to run around with them much more and, you know, be more active. And not saying I'm not active, but be twice as active, you know, in my 30s than I am in my 40s, so to speak. So if that's what you want to focus on, then by all means, definitely make it happen. But, you know, just do the vetting part as thorough as possible. That's the only thing I could say. All right.
We'll do.
All right, brother. Appreciate
I'll
having
try
you
to
on.
steer clear of the problems.
I'm
All
about
right,
to say,
got you.
look for them flags.
All right, money.
Have a good
All right.
day.
Later.
Thanks.
All right.
All right,
Thank you for
let's
coming
go
up,
ahead
man.
and I'm gonna go ahead and put on
Evil Black Cat is on. Logan, you're up next.
Evil,
Evil
Black,
Black
Cat.
What's going on?
One of my oldies. What's up?
I hope you can hear me.
Oh, we can all hear
We
you.
can hear you.
So what you got for us, man?
Gary, I'm gonna just give it a second here. Gary, brother, I've been with you since Donald J. Trump put you on blast.
Nice.
I ain't let you since, so been right
I
here with you.
appreciate that, brother. I really do. I really
So,
freaking do.
I appreciate Erica thinking I'm a lady. All right.
Well, Evil Black Cat with
I
a female avatar.
I do.
Wait a second. I didn't say lady. I just said evil black cat because I never know.
Yeah.
I done got shocked
Hey,
a couple of times by these names.
Fair enough. I had the cute picture up. I thought it was a cute juxtaposition towards the name, and there you go. Anyway,
Look, I'm not gonna front Evil Black Cat. I thought it was a woman. I thought you was a woman too from the.
And since you said that, Wally P, the very first time I met you, Evil Black, I thought you was a woman as well.
Well, dang, Gary, cheers.
I mean, you ain't have to do the voice and stuff. That's crazy.
Yo, that made it epic. Nah, Evil Black Cat, that made it epic, brother.
We
fell
can
off,
make
Gary.
Gary's
Like, nah, man, don't do that.
Mrs. Lamb jealous. I'm just saying. Come
Please
on.
don't do that. Really? Oh God, no.
That aside, I appreciate you, brother. And when I can jump in, I've been jumping in. I've been watching you. So I'm gonna go ahead and admit I'm a couple of sheets to the wind, working on a third. It's a Saturday night. What can I say?
Nice.
But I'm relaxing. I'm chilling. I appreciate the conversation. You go back and you look at this, and we're talking about the dichotomy between men and women, modern day society. I get that. And as much as they try to blur the distinction between men and women these days, philosophically, start trying to say men can be women and women can be men. It doesn't work. We know this. Naturally, it doesn't work. It's not a thing. It's never been a thing for millennia. Millennia, it's never been a thing. All of a sudden, new philosophy. I like to call it the new religion, to which I am proudly an atheist. Anyway, the more we try to rail against the natural way of things, the more society gets screwed up.
Yes.
And I cannot, the distinction between men and women, they try to break this down in society, and it literally is destroying Western civilization as we speak. So, and then we look at our enemies and they're laughing at us. They think we're an, I don't want to swear, but they think we're an effing joke.
Yeah.
You got Putin over there thinking, oh, look what they're doing to their children. Look what they're doing to men and women and the distinction between them, etc. And this all boils down to, it's really hard, actually. I've been thinking about this for a very long time. How do you really, really, really boil this down? You could go towards different, it's a difference between cultures. It's a difference between society. It's a difference between black and white. It's a difference between cultures. But at the end of the day, you really gotta bring this down to a head. Where does this come from? And who's exploiting it? At the end of the day, you're going to have A and B, no matter what. Men and women, black and white, left and right, doesn't matter. You're going to have differences in people, differences in opinions, differences in culture, differences in ethnicity. People are going to look and strive to find a reason to hate each other, to look for those differences and pull out those little weeds and just nitpick and just get in there and hate each other for whatever reason. It's tried and true throughout society, through millennia, from the very beginning of time, from Adam and Eve. If you're religious, it's never going to stop. It's never going to go away. So smart people, wicked little devious little smart people, have figured out how to exploit that to their benefit.
Yep.
So, and I honestly think, if you look through history, you look through everything, despite their little divisive little nitpicks, I think the most beautiful thing, the most beautiful and wonderful thing from Adam and Eve. And if you want to go back to I'm not religious myself, but I'm going to call back to Adam and Eve because I think it's a good starting point for everybody to call back to, just as a reference point. The most beautiful dichotomy ever in society is the relationship between men and women.
Yes.
And men and women are absolutely different, absolutely opposition, but absolutely 1000% complement each other.
Facts.
Yes, we
Facts.
do. Yes, we do. It's oh my God, do we?
The masculine and the feminine are absolute complements and an absolute balance.
Yep.
To humanity.
Yin and yang.
Absolutely. And men, masculine, dominant, power, work, striving towards the goal, pulling towards the future, looking for that fire, burning their asses off, getting shit done. Pardon me, I swore. I cussed. I'm sorry. Women.
Got good to you, didn't
it? Getting it done, taking care of the family, looking for the future, nurturing the man, raising that man's hand up by force if she has to.
Yep.
Getting him to get up in the morning, slapping that ass and getting him towards the future. That is men and women, boom, getting it done for thousands and thousands of years.
Yeah.
Preach, brother.
And only in the past, 50, 60 years, this crap comes out. Gender ideology, communism, socialism, Marxism, stuff it up your bum. It never got crap done. You know what got crap done? Men on getting it done, taking bullets, bleeding, pulling things up, digging the coal, mining the mines, building the structures, building the skyscrapers. Women making sure their goddamn men got up for work on time, building the future, putting them in line when they're out of line. Freaking, oh my God. That's a beautiful dichotomy. And all of a sudden, this new religion comes along and says, oh, no. We're going to placate. You're beautiful however you are. You can be whatever you want to be. Nature is irrelevant to what we desire. You know, these words don't mean anything. We'll change the meaning of those words. What's a woman? Gary, Walsey P. What's a woman?
I don't understand the question. I mean,
no, you're not a biologist. You're not a biologist.
Yeah, I'm not a biologist. I've never been to school for that. You know.
No, I know.
I mean, do you mean as in the actual word woman, or you're talking about the Adam? I can't. I'm sorry. I can't even sound as stupid as she did. I'm trying, but I can't.
I know, right?
What is a man? I'm
gonna say you want the book definition. Like you ask me these questions, and I'm like, you want the definition from where? From the dictionary? From the biology book?
I'm gonna go with the Konami thing. What is a man? But a miserable pile of secrets. That's a Castlevania reference. If you get the old Nintendo reference. Anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you, brother. If you got that reference, I appreciate you. But
definitely did.
No, when the left can't win with reason, when the left can't win with a good argumentative stance, they attempt to subvert reality. How do you subvert reality? What is the number one thing everyone in this panel right now, what do we use to define reality? What do we use to define it to each other? What do we use to communicate with each other? Language.
Words.
When you cannot win the argument, you subvert the argument if you are a crazed ideologue. Think about this, and I'm going to bring up a term for you. This is a very important one. When they cannot win in the terms of the argument, they change the words. They change reality. They attempt to change, subvert, gaslight you into thinking, oh, no, it was never that way. I'm going to give you one word. Regulate.
Yeah.
I want you to think about this for a second. Yeah. Regulate, back in the day, when it was first inceptionalized. I'm sorry, I'm making up words. Yeah, going back to my point, when it was first brought up and it was first created, meant to keep well maintained. If you have a car, if you give it an oil change, you're regulating your car. You're keeping it up and well maintained.
Mhm.
Regulate never meant the government to take care of, the government to regulate it, the government to take care of it. Now, I bring this up for a very specific point. And for some of you, this may hit close to home. Where do we see the term regulate, the word regulate come up when it comes to our rights as our rights
that's true.
as recognized by our most founding document in the United States history? Anyone want to take a stab at that?
Constitution.
I'm about to say it's the
Regulate the country.
Constitution,
The
but I also
second,
feel
the
like
Second
Amendment.
Amendment.
I was about to say it's probably the amendment, but I'm
Yes.
also starting to realize I feel like regulate now is more control. I feel like
It is.
that's what they're
That's exactly the
changing.
term. Regulate means
Yeah.
to control, but it never used
Yeah.
to meant government control.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. When they can subvert the language, when they can subvert reality itself. And think about this, it's not just me and you. Like, I remember the terms, like back in the day, people remember these terms: woman, man, regulate.
Yeah.
And I can bring up other examples too, and I will. When you bring up the term regulate, it subverts the Second Amendment itself. And the Second Amendment itself is there for what?
Protection.
No, it
Protection.
is there to no. It is to recognize our rights as living, breathing human beings to protect ourselves. Now, when you subvert that language and you change the definition of regulate, they try to bring into law what they're trying to do now.
Mm-hmm.
Gavin Newsom is trying to introduce a bill, an amendment, actually itself. He's literally trying to do this right now. If you haven't seen this, look it up. Gavin Newsom has introduced a, whatever you call it, to change the Constitution itself, to regulate it, again, changing the definition, to strip us away from our capability of our natural right to protect ourselves with the most effective means, period. So when they can do that, they do other things. And then when they get away with it, they just keep doing it. Now I'll bring up another example. What was it? Sexual preference.
Mm-hmm.
The definition of that was changed not even a day or two after. Was it Christine Blasey Ford? No, not Blasey Ford. That was the person that tried to go after, what's his name, for the Supreme Court. But who's the woman that was trying to be, who was going on the Supreme Court? What was her name? The one Trump put up.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name right now.
I can't remember her name either. But there was a senator, I believe, from Hawaii that accused her of something or other. And Jesus, I'm trying to remember this exactly. The person that was going up for the Supreme Court, honestly, Amy Coney Barrett, that's who it is.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, Barrett was on, they have to go through the whole rigmarole and sit before the Senate or whatever. And she was testifying, or not testifying. I don't think it's actually testifying because she was basically going up for the role. So she was doing her whole thing. And she brought up sexual preference. And basically she said something like, well, that's somebody's sexual preference. If a man desires a man, woman desires a woman, man desires a woman, that's their preference. And a senator, I want to say it's a senator from Hawaii. I know she's from Hawaii. Said something to the tune of, just disagreed with her, basically. And it was from a completely leftist perspective. And not 1 to 2 days later, the Merriam-Webster's dictionary redefined the term sexual preference to align with that senator. Now, you may not think that's a big thing, but here's where this comes into play 5-10 years down the line. If some college student, maybe 5 years from now, is writing their thesis, their what do you call it? They're like, if they're a medical student or whatever, they're the longer term for it. Anyway, they're writing their dissertation. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, dissertation. Okay.
And they cite Merriam-Webster's for sexual preference. It's going to be through that lens of leftism. That's how they're changing society. You do not see the equal and opposite reaction from the right. And not that there should be. I'm not of the right. I am not of the left. I'm of objective reality. And wherever that leads, it goes. Unfortunately, the way society is leaning, they're laying the foundations in law, in language, in definitions, in society, in everything. They're in how they school your kids.
See, but I think honestly, that's just in politics, period, left and right. I think both are equal when it comes to doing these type of things.
You're absolutely not wrong. I think the worst possible thing that ever happened to the United States of America is the Department of Education. Absolutely. I think the Department of Education could be nuked from freaking orbit. Get rid of that. It should never have been a thing where the government comes between you and your kids. How many parents these days send their kids to school and they don't even know the name of their teachers?
Yep.
Don't even know. Don't even care. It's daycare. It's government-sponsored daycare, and the government can teach your kids whatever the hell they want. Why do you think you got these little kids running around, blue hair, thinking they're male or female when they're not? It's the government getting in there, and they don't even care. They're just letting them run havoc on your children. And Gary, I know you got kids. I really hope you're private schooling or homeschooling.
Well, we're not private schooling, but we are on top of it. We really are.
Oh God, I hope.
Yeah.
This is where the family dynamic of us trying to bring families together come into play. Because at the end of the day, the stronger we have our family core and our communities, it doesn't matter what the hell the government does. It doesn't matter what the left do, what the right do, because if we have our strong core values, our strong communities, they could do whatever the hell they want to do. At the end of the day, our communities will always come out on top, regardless what they put into play.
And I absolutely want that to be the way it should be. Absolutely. I want everybody.
Yes.
I want Gary to have him and his missus at home, and the teaching the kids the tried and true American values that made us great and make us great again, hopefully.
Yes.
Definitely.
But
listen, we're gonna have to cut you off. We got Logan. We gotta
back. Yeah,
but,
we gotta let him in.
man. Yeah,
but yeah, preach. That was definitely some great knowledge, man. Definitely broke some stuff down for real.
I ain't even started, but
yeah, I know, man. That's why I had to get you. I was like, wait a minute, you about to get a run on us.
We gotta see if we could link up with you on a topic to speak about these very things.
Absolutely. When we get winning, because we do this on Thursdays when we talk about this kind of stuff, that'll be the better show for this.
Well, I'm sorry, what
topic?
I missed you.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Winning reality. We are starting a series on Thursdays where we're trying to go through these type of things, history, and put the pieces in place. So that'd be a perfect show for that. Yes, absolutely. So you definitely should come on that one. And we do have to. I think we're gonna move the show up maybe, but we have to discuss it. But that's definitely.
If you have to do it on Mondays, oh man, I'll be all for it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
on Mondays, I will be a part of it.
I'll talk.
Well, you know what? I'll be there if I can be there. But Gary, love you, brother.
Love you too, man, brother.
And I look forward to speaking with you again.
Hey, well, thank you so much for.
Thanks for being on.
All
Thanks
right,
for calling
player.
in. All right.
All
All right, so
right.
we got Logan. Logan was waiting for a minute. Sorry about that, Logan, but we are going to let you in so you can speak your mind, brother.
I
Who's
will
gonna
do
let him
that
in?
after we never announced the super chat, so I'm gonna do that.
Yes,
Super
yes.
chat, live to
Yeah.
love to live. If you can't give, forgive. If you can't forgive, give.
Yes,
I was
sir.
practicing that for the last like 3 minutes.
Logan is in the building. What up, Logan?
Hey, what's up, man? How's it going?
How you doing? Not too bad. Not too bad. How are you this evening?
I'm pretty good. I'm pretty burnt. I just got off doing a 12-hour shift.
Oh, you
man.
preaching to the choir, man. I do that 4 days a week, so I know what you're going
Damn.
through, man. I know what
feel
you're
it.
going through.
I
Whew.
feel it, man.
Thanks for rocking with us, though. What you got for
12
us?
hours.
Yeah, I kept on
Yeah.
losing you guys for a sec. For some reason they kept on crashing, and then I was like, no, someone else is gonna get in the queue and take my place.
Nah.
And then
Nah,
so
we
We're
would
gonna
have
keep
had
you
you
in line.
queued up.
Definitely keep you in line.
Oh, for sure. So I kept
Yeah.
coming back, and I was like relieved. But so before all this, you guys were talking about mostly intersexual dynamics, correct?
Yes, yes.
So I want to just give a brief. I'll be pretty brief.
Mhm.
I kind of agree with. I can definitely agree with what Evil Black Cat was saying in regards to the way society is being steered. But
Mhm.
just to be like a little bit more specific about how I see it affecting young women and young men in particular, is that a lot of earlier I heard Gary ask the question of like, well, why? Or I think it was Gary asked the question of like, well, why are these women like basically giving it all away to the dudes that aren't really worth it, and then
Yeah.
the dudes that actually got shit going for them, they're like
Mhm.
making them work for it.
That was Wally.
Oh, okay.
That was me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, and my take on it.
It was me.
Okay. Well, my take on that question is that like that is being conditioned into them. Like that idea is being conditioned into young women in many different forms. I would say a lot of it is through music. There's just like a
Mhm.
lot of promotion of like of whoredom, if you will, now, and
Yeah.
also there's like a big
Promiscuity.
yeah,
Yeah.
promiscuity,
Yeah.
and like it's
Yeah.
and there's this push though to make people think they can have their cake and eat it too, and that like the actions that they take now aren't going to have consequences down the road, or that
Yes.
like, oh, you can go get like ran through in your 20s and like do all this shit that's like kind of like maybe a more traditional man isn't going to be okay with, and then
Mhm.
and then in your 30s when your biological clock is like starting to run out, and like you basically have you've been with all the chads and the tyrones and whatnot, like then you could go find a nice guy to fucking take care of you. Well, I think that the thing about it that is sad to me, but also I'm not saying that women aren't enlightened or they're not woke. I'm not saying, well, I hate that word woke, actually. I fucking hate that word.
Yeah.
Why did I even use that word? Oh, sorry, I cuss. I'll try to be more careful about that. But
Oh, I was going to get you on a third one. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know. But it's like people we don't always realize the things that are controlling us, the narratives that are controlling us. Like, and I see that amongst also to bring it back to something that Wally was. Wait, how do you? Is it Wally? Wallsy P?
Walls P, Wally, Walls P, Wally, whichever.
Okay,
It's all
either
good.
one. Okay,
Yeah.
for sure. I'm just
Yeah.
gonna call you Wally. That's easy. That's
All
easier.
right.
But like, just to bring it back to something else you said earlier, I almost just lost my train of thought. It's like we don't realize the things that are controlling us
Mm-hmm.
And like, oh, but like women will be influenced by like I can think of this one girl, for example, who like she was taking some interest in me, or like she was giving me cues of being attracted to me, but like I know for a fact that a couple of her friends just like didn't like me. Especially this one who like I was I called out this chick basically because she was like doing some scandalous shit behind her boyfriend's
Mm-hmm.
back, and I was friend like her boyfriend was like my little homie, and like I tried to tell him to be careful because like he was freaking in too deep with her, and they ended up having
Yeah,
a
yeah.
kid. And I tried to, and so I basically told him like, look out. And then he went and told this chick she hated my guts for it because she got caught being freaking scandalous.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
but she was friends with this one who like I actually like who thought I was fine or thought I was attractive, and who I thought was attractive. And then like,
She's
but
kicking
that
your
one's,
back in.
but exactly. So then that one basically like I got my name drugged through the mud to this one, and then she basically just wouldn't talk to me anymore. Or like, but I mean, this could all be hypothetical as well. But I'm just using that as an example. I'm just using this as an example of like what happens nowadays, because because like for that woman who may have taken a liking to me, she like she can think for herself. But what happens is that the ones that don't even their friends don't even have their best interests at heart. That girl
Yes.
who said that girl who said something about like who has like spoken on me. I know she has, like, 'cause I know she hates me, like but like she doesn't even have her friend's best interest at heart. Like she doesn't want her friend to be like with a good guy or something or whatever. She's trying to like, it's like basically these girls
She's
have
not.
they have
She's
serpents
not.
for friends. They have serpents for friends sometimes.
Got you.
I was
And
gonna
so
say,
like they're sitting there listening to their friend thinking like, oh, this girl is actually like trying to help me out, because they do have like that kind of, sometimes they can have that kind of hive mind mentality where it's like, oh, well, all the other women are saying this about this guy, then that must be true. But then like sometimes those other women are the ones that are like, they are freaking the ones that just wasted their 20s doing stupid shit, and then like just had a freaking baby with some dude that they're not staying with, and like are hella like envious or jealous because they're like, they are influenced by this whole ideology, or by this like trying to like be something that you're not. You know what I mean? And then
It's like single women want to keep their friends single so they could live their hot girl summers, so to speak,
Yeah, because
messing
it's
up a
hard to
good thing.
vacation by yourself. Listen,
yeah,
Yes.
misery loves company. Misery loves
Yes.
company. That's yeah.
you're going to run into those issues with women, and
Well then,
even Black Cat
sorry.
just said if she's influenced so easily by her social circle, she's not worth it. And I don't
Oh wow.
agree with that. And here's why I
That's
don't
what I'm
agree
saying.
with it.
I don't agree with that either. But I'm asking if that is the case. If because just because a woman can be impressionable by her social circle doesn't mean that you just give up on her.
You
Like
can't,
there,
because
okay,
yeah,
I'm
it
I'm
might
I'm
take
gonna
I'm
interject
time
a
for her
little
sorry.
to
bit.
get to that
Nah,
point.
I'm sorry. I'm giving up on her. I'm
Okay,
sorry.
so
Really?
I'm
Hold, go.
Yes.
Now this is a conversation. Now we got a conversation.
okay.
You
Now
know
we got,
why?
because
What were you
we
saying,
got
Erica?
I was about to say, I wish y'all would let me talk. There
Go
are
ahead.
there is
no,
going to be
no,
yes.
no.
I'm the only one. I'm the only one who can really respond from this. I really
Go ahead.
am, because I'm the only
He's
woman
messing
on the
with you,
panel right
Erica P.
now.
Relax. He's messing
Okay,
with you.
so what I will say is, I do feel like in that circumstance, they may not be real friends. They may be frenemies. You have social circles that are like that. There's always going to be that one friend who really don't want to see you win. There is going to be that one person that is like, we met at high school, we kept in contact, we're close. That one person may think that is their friend, but realistically, all they're doing is trying to make themselves look better than that person. So they're going to talk down, they're going to do whatever they need to do to make sure that person stays single. Because
And
the
See,
that's
minute they
why
go,
I
I don't like you, they're going to poison the well of everybody else around their circles. Because 9 times out of 10, they're either they had a guy lined up that they want her to be with, and maybe she just didn't like that person the way that they wanted her to. Or they have to figure out how do they input a guy in the circle that's not going to break up what they're doing right now. And that's
this
the
is
hardest
why
circumstance.
And this is why I said I would leave that woman alone. Because number one, whatever, even if she like accepts you, whatever, but she still keep a tight knit with her circle. Number one, women talk. So whatever business y'all have is going to the circle. No matter how much you say, oh, don't talk to the circle about XYZ, they're going to talk. Women talk. Number two, if you guys are ever going through any problems and her friends in her circle, are 304s, guess what? Their first option is going to be when you run into problems. Leave that dude. Oh, I got old boy over here that's just waiting to take you to Pound Town, yada, yada, this, that, and the third. So unless that woman is willing to leave that circle, but saying, hey, yeah, I want to have you, but I still have this circle that I'm committed to, I'm always going to be in a de-measuring contest with her and her circle. And 9 times out of 10, whenever problems come around, I'm going to be the one on the losing end of the stick as opposed to her friend's circle. So no, I don't want no parts. There's too many women out there for me to have an easier time to find a woman that'll get on my program that will not be influenced by their friends. I'm sorry.
I gotta disagree with you on that one, boss, because
All right.
I've experienced it, right? So I know
Mhm.
exactly what you guys are talking about when the circle was influencing her behavior. And I'm
I
telling you
did
right
too.
now, it's now neither part is wrong, right? But based
Mhm.
upon what Erica said, that's the reason why I would not give up on her. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not going to have her in the same position as like wifey or girlfriend or anything like that. Like, all right, cool, no problem. We can, what I'm saying, obviously you're doing you're listening to your friends or whatever have you, which is cool. Like, I will be listening to my friends, no problem. Women will remove themselves, right? And because of
Mhm.
that, I don't have to do much work. If she's listening to her friends and she just disappears for a week or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever what have you, she comes back, I'm like, hey, what's going on? Oh, she comes with the sob story, she came with the horse shit and blah 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 blah, whatever. And I know she's lying. It's not hard to figure out. No, she's lying, but I'm not about to sit here and just like push her away. But what I would do is I would put myself in a position where what happened to oh, okay, there he is.
Yeah, he's back in there.
Yeah.
Sorry about that, guys.
It's all good.
No problem, no problem. I thought we lost you. But what I would do is I will let her know that in order to get back in my graces, you're going to have to do a little extra work now. Right? Because whatever you was listening to took you away from what you had, and you thought you was going to be able to just come back and get your position back. No, you lost that. So if you want back in my good graces, you're going to have to prove that you want it.
Yeah,
and if you
make
don't,
them qualify. Make them qualify.
You got to re-qualify for the position. Like you took
Yeah.
you left. I didn't do anything, but
isn't that kind of the same where you took your ball and left, and now she's following you?
I never took
to
my
the
ball
playground
anywhere.
that you
She's the
went
one
to?
that left the playing field. I'm still on the court.
Okay.
My thing is like it's not so much pertaining to just like individual women, because like the one who I was talking about, for example, like I've pretty much already accepted. Like I know that I can get better women than her, even though I do see a good woman in her, even though she's influenced by like things that I don't agree with, and I've accepted that. So not so much as regarding that individual. My thing is, first of all, I'm 25 and I've been through like, I don't really want to say I'm clean and sober. I was incarcerated when I was really young, and I was homeless predominantly from the age of 17 to 22. So
pretty much you've been through a lot. You've been through the
you've experienced life.
war zone pretty much. Yeah, and you came
pretty
up
much
stronger.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
And I'm not going to deny that there's still some trauma that I need to work on and some demons that I need to face in order to like fully blossom into the man that I can be.
But before you go on, but you notice what you said though? You know that there's things that you need to work on. That's the first step right there. It's the fact that you know that it's there and you're going to take care of it. Most people
Yeah.
know they had these traumas and aren't willing to do anything about it or try and sweep it under the rug. So you're already winning right there by identifying it and saying, yo, I'm going to take care of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So just remember that.
Thank you.
No problem.
But then back
But
to the
it's
point
like,
we were talking, you also have to
Hold
think
up.
about
He
it.
still was making a point. He still was making a
Sorry.
point.
so it's just so like what I was saying is that like I have to be focused on my personal evolution currently, because like I've since from the age of 20, during this time, while I have been clean off of all substances, from 22 to 25, I have been having my priorities misaligned, and I've been seeing all these people that are partaking in the things that our society is promoting, and promiscuity and partying and like all this dumb shit. And like, don't get me, and that stuff looks enticing. It is very enticing, even though like I know where it brings me. Like, because where it brings me isn't to like this glamorous, like, oh, living my best life type shit. It like literally brings me into the fucking like, I could be in a, like, if I went and I decided to go drink or like do some powders or something tonight, I could be in a dope house tonight with some straight like cutthroat people that like, I was about to cuss, but like I could be in the worst places tonight.
Yeah.
Like I,
Yeah.
but like I'm not trying to be there though. Like, so, but what my back to the original topic is just like, back to the original topic is like, so with these women that they are impressed by these ideologies, like Evil Black Cat was saying, they are impressed by these ideologies that are promoting them to think and behave in certain ways. But my only concern, not so much with the individual, but more so with the group, especially because they are more in, I see like this, I don't know if this is one-sided or not, but I see women that are very impressionable, and and it's not always a bad thing, but I don't want to go off on a side tangent. It's how do I promote, how in my own evolution do I encourage them to think for themselves as well? And how do I
You
encourage,
don't.
like,
I'm
I
about to say
don't?
you really
You
can't.
don't.
And the reason
You
is
don't.
you have to
You
just
lead
look for
them.
those
That's
qualities.
the
So if
reason
you
why.
know you want somebody who's not partying too much, or you know you want somebody who is not about that lifestyle, you have to start looking for people who are not interested in that. Because the problem is, yes, you're in that age bracket where social media is the biggest thing. These friend groups are the biggest things for them. So it's how do I start talking to people and seeing where this is going to lead? Because guess what? You'll only know that by dating people. So my thing is you start taking them out on dates. You start having open dialogue. You start having those conversations. Once you start seeing what they're about, then you have to make the choice for yourself. Is this something you can see in the long term, or is this something that is for right now? You might have to have them conversations to get more comfortable with them about it. But if you see all they're about is partying and this hot girlness, then those are the ones hey, I need to stay away from. Because if your ideal thing going forward is not being around that environment, you have to not choose people that want to participate in that environment.
Now, keep in mind, when you choose a woman, you choose her forever.
Correct.
Don't play this game. Oh, well, she was the wrong one. That you knew she was the wrong one when you chose it. Okay. You thought you can change her ass, but you couldn't, right? Don't play that game. I don't think, listen, I believe that every woman can be a good woman for the right man. Let me put that in, because a lot of women will say, for the right man, every woman can be a good woman. The question is, are you the right man? Okay. As far as women being impressionable, that God made them that way for us. Okay. This is why when you get with a woman, and she's not been soiled, all right, she imprints on you, and she look everything you say she trusts. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that's how she's been designed, to trust you. It's okay to make mistakes. It's not okay to what is it? I can't say, I don't want to say renege, because you can renege on stuff, and as long as you're willing to fess up it and fix it, that's fine. But when you betray a woman, there's no coming back from that. All right.
Mm-hmm.
The type of women that we have now, they're severely corrupted because they're easily led. Like you said, they're easily led. They're being led by other girls because they trust women over men. That's what they did in this country. That's the narrative. That's the ideology. You cannot trust men, right? So you're going to
Yeah,
have
but
to
like,
compete with that.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it's just, but that's the frustrating part, though, is like, that's the frustrating part, is that sometimes they don't even realize they're being led. They don't even realize the things that they're being led by. They don't sit there and realize
If
that they're
you
listening to
realize
freaking
it,
Cardi B and Nicki Minaj and all these like
Yeah.
chicks that have like they have monogamous marriages and shit, and they're telling them to go do some hoe shit and like go get ran through and freaking violate yourself and let
Yes.
other people violate you, and like
Yes.
they don't even realize that that's the stuff that they're being influenced by, because they're just so in it. Because like I can, back to the whole social media thing. I spend time with my little sister about once a week. I don't live with her and my mother anymore. They live together. But I go and I go up to where my mom lives about like once a week, sometimes less. And I go and I watch, like, I get dinner with her and I watch a movie with her. And she's a little bit younger than me because, like I said, I'm 25. She just turned 19, and she's so like, she has no other vices either, because she's very religious and very like pretty pure still. um and but like when I'm watching a movie with her, sometimes like she can't, like, I have to literally like stop the movie and tell her to put her phone away, because she's so sucked into it, and she's like not even as bad as like, she's like she's not even as bad as like 90% of her generation. So I'm just like, so it's like, what is the antidote to this? If people don't even realize they're being led, and like people, and like society doesn't, like Evil Black Cat was saying, society doesn't realize that we're being pulled on these strings by these powers that be, or like that are pretending to be, rather, like, then what is the antidote? Like, how do we
You let them come to you. See, this is the thing that a lot of men need to understand. You are going to have to let her come to you. All right. Once this is why I say I'm not so gun ho for kicking a woman to curb because she's been led astray. Right. They all get led astray. It started with Eve, dog. Like, that's what they do. They get led astray. So it's like, all right, cool. You're going to have to get back into my good graces because you was led astray. I don't have a problem with you going out there and pursuing your life and whatever. You're not committed to me, right? We didn't have any commitment. I mean, we decided, hey, Logic, we decided that we was going to, do some hanky panky for a couple of months. You know what I'm saying? Like, we doing our thing, But if you go out there and you come back, and a lot of men say, I don't let women come back, whatever, that's fine. You don't have to do that. But I'm not that type of guy, because I don't like opening up new boxes. I don't like doing it. Okay. I'm not that guy. I don't sleep around like that. So if a girl comes back and she comes back knowing she made a mistake, right? It's like, all right, cool. Listen, what you going to do for daddy to make it up to me? You know what I'm saying? What you going to do? Well, what do you need me to do? Okay. The handcuffs come out, the choker comes out. Like, we make it work. But it's up to you to lead that. You can't just you can't be on some like aggressive stuff. That don't work with women. You can't you can't be on that, like, you're gonna do what I say, and that doesn't. That's an even faster way for them to lead.
Even in setting boundaries, because like I had an experience recently with a 20-year-old woman who I briefly hooked up with, who she was very like, what she wanted it then and that, right then and right there, and I was like not trying to do it like the first date for other reasons, but like I try to set a boundary and say, hey, look, like I'm down to do this, but like just not like before I even brought her back to my place. Like I said, like we're not doing anything tonight. And then
but you got to think about it too. We're also in a time where people want instant gratification.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
but just
exactly.
think about that. But just think about what he said. He went on a date with a woman, and he had to set the boundary. Like, is this not processing? He had to set the boundary.
But
Listen,
this is what
I've
I'm saying,
experienced
though.
that.
I
Like,
feel
listen,
like
I've
people are
experienced it. I know
not,
exactly what you're saying.
No, I get it too, because
mind-boggling.
I've had it in the past where it's like, yo, told the woman, yo, tonight we're not doing anything, whatever. Drop them off, and afterwards, it's like I get a text like, "Are you gay or something?" Like, what's going
Yeah,
on?
nah,
Like,
that's
and
what
it's like,
happened. It was
yeah,
it went really sideways. It went really sideways.
yes.
But
So you have to think about the type of people that she's choosing as well. And I think that's the hard part for me. You're 20 doing that. So what are you doing when you hit 25? At that point, to
I
me,
think
you're
you're
washed
missing
up.
the bigger point. I think you're missing the bigger point, Erica, because women in society will do certain things because it's the norm, because it's acceptable by
yeah,
other
that's what I'm
women.
exactly.
So
But this
the
chick's coming out
fact
of a
that
5-year relationship,
yes,
and then but then now she's saying she just wants to get it casually.
But
And I'm
that's
like,
what I was
well,
gonna
fact
say.
that she's like that is she got the okay from other women that it's okay to be this way.
And that's what I
Live
was
your
gonna say,
life,
too.
girl.
Think
I mean,
about
you
it.
only get one. You're only 20 once. And that goofy
And think
stuff.
about it. He also said that she had just came out of a 5-year relationship. That means you were in a
Yep.
relationship from 15 to 20. That was most
Mhm.
likely the high school sweetheart.
Mhm.
Think about it.
Yeah.
So you already dealt with, hey, I'm in high school. I'm in this relationship. You get out at 20. Sometimes you think that one relationship is your end all be all. Now she's
But
like,
see,
oh, I got out of that. Now you
Well,
want to jump off the
but see,
ship, and it's
that's
like
the
you
and
can't.
but see, that's
and like
the
I don't
that's
think she
the
should be shamed for like I don't think she should be shamed like for
I'm not saying
wanting to
that
have
it's,
fun either.
but
Like
I'm not saying that's being shameful. But what I'm saying is, on the first date, that it should be. If you bring that back, I guarantee more people won't be trying to do it on the first date. You don't know me. You don't know me on the first date. I don't know what, in my head, I need to bring it back to, hey, we need to go to this clinic and get a test.
Thank you. I'm
Like,
so glad you said it, because I
yeah.
sure as hell was going to say it.
Yeah.
Well, because I'm old school. My logic, I'm a lot older than you at this point. I ain't been 20 in some time. But those are things that I can remember in my 20s. No, I'm not just smashing everything that walk. I
Let me
know
ask
the ramifications of that.
Let me ask a question, because I always hear like it's like, oh, she just got out of a 5-year relationship, this, that, and third, right? But did anybody ever think of this dynamic of it? Yeah, you got out of a 5-year relationship, which means that you have the skills to maintain a long-term relationship. So why
That
not
does
build
not
on
mean that.
them skills?
It
does not
doesn't
mean
mean
I
that.
understand it doesn't mean anything,
well,
but
to be honest, I already knew within like after we got food and everything, I already knew like didn't really want to date this girl like in that
got
way
you.
because she
And then
was.
you didn't know how to let her down. Is that what it was?
Well, I wasn't even like I was attracted to her though. Like that's the thing, is because because of my religion, I was raised Jehovah's Witness, and so I
Okay.
have all these like deep seated shame beliefs around sex. So then
Mhm.
it's kind of hard navigating this of like, okay, I'm currently, but I don't consume, for example, like I have not consumed pornography in 4 months. I don't do none of that because they say whatever 99% of people are doing, don't do that.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of things that young men my age are doing, and it's destroying them, or it's
Mhm.
making them weak. And I don't want to do those things. So I'm trying to go the opposite way, even though
Got
everything
you.
around me in our society is trying to tell me like, oh no, it's okay, just do that, and like everything's gonna be fine, like nothing bad's gonna happen. But it's like I know that that's not
Got
true
you.
because like that shit has consumed me. Those demons have
Mhm.
consumed me,
Mhm.
and so like that's part of the thing I was trying to like back to like setting boundaries. Like I was trying to tell this girl like, hey, look, like I'm down to do this, but like I'm not trying to just give it away that easily because this shit has the power to create life. and like
Yes.
I'm not just being like, I mean, don't get me wrong, and like I've been with women before that like I did hook up with them casually, and they were like succubus, they were succubi, and like legit I would get with them, and afterwards I would be completely drained of all of my life force and all of my energy, and I would be all weak and sucked up for like a week afterwards of just like recharging. So like I was trying to be careful about that, because people don't realize, like, even though I think it's okay to like, there is things we can do to protect our energy so that like that we can share. Like I could have shared my energy with that girl and like probably been okay afterwards, but like it's like a not something to be playing games with sometimes, kind of like what Erica was saying, because like because like, yeah, casual sex is being promoted in our society a lot, and I think that there is something to be said for like being able to have pleasure with someone and like not be ashamed about it, and to be just like, to be able to feel that and to connect with someone. There's something to be said for that. However, it's also, there's so many different things that we don't realize that we could be like, I could be taking on someone else's like karma basically by effing with them.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even on a spiritual level. Like I could literally be getting diseases or impregnating them, or that there's
right.
And I think that's my biggest thing. It's like I was 20, I was 25 at one point in time. I get it. I just feel like people are going too far to the extreme. And it's like, okay, so you want to do that in your 20s and then you want to rein it in your 30s. No, I need people to feel like, hey, whatever you're doing is a consequence for when you get older. So it's, hey, if you want to be promiscuous, are you okay with all of the factors that come with being like that? Because like you said, yes, energy is a thing. Hey, having babies is a thing. Hey, having diseases is a thing. Like these are all conscious decisions that you are making for that fun time at that point in time. And I'm like,
it's just,
like I
it's
said, I'm not
a lonely
shaming anybody because
think
I know I've done it. I just feel like, at what point do both parties set boundaries? Hey, maybe we don't do this for the first 6 months, so we can understand each other. So
from my perspective
as
a young man in our society, that's where and I'll leave it at this because I gotta go. But from my perspective as a young man in our society, is like, that's where a lot of my hopelessness lay, is in that what if of like, well, when are we gonna actually come together? Because I do think that men and women do complement each other.
Yes.
Yeah. And like there is a power in that unification of the sexes, and there's something that we each bring to the table, and there's something that the family unit brings to the table, like, because I grew up in a family unit, and it was strong at one point before, and it crumbled, and like we all went our separate ways basically. But where a lot of my hopelessness lay is just like, of like, well, I'm sitting here and I'm on my path, and like I know, like, I gotta be righteous, and I gotta, like, again, like I was saying to you, Wally, I gotta face my demons. Well, but then my thing is like, well, what if other people don't hear that or see that, or like they don't, like, I mean, like, not what other people, like, I'm not doing this for other people. That's not what I'm trying to say. What I'm trying to say is, like, I sat there and I tried to make this boundary with this girl, and I said, hey, look, I don't want to F you tonight. Like, we can mess around a little bit, we can cuddle, we can watch some stuff, but like, I'm not trying to do like go all the way. And she wouldn't take no for an answer, and like freaking try to do it all anyways. And then like I was just not like, I was kind of like humoring it, but like I just was not ultimately having it. Like I just kept on having to like say no. And then
you let
she
her in
came
your
back.
house?
What? Yeah. And
that
she
was
came back.
That was your mistake right there. You let her in.
Yeah, because then I gave her the wrong idea, I guess.
Yeah, you let her in the house and say, we're not doing anything. There's a bed right there. There's soft music. It's candlelight. It's dinner. And you're going to say no?
Like, come on. Wait, what is that phrase? Like,
because think
it
about
looks
it.
like
How many times? as men, how many times like we've said to ourselves like, "Yo, this chick, I want to try and have sex with her," and she's like, "Nah, we're not having sex," but then she invites you in the house. You're like,
Right.
"Okay, you said one thing, but you're leading me on." So you're
She
gonna
wearing
keep
that
trying to
peach
press the button.
crap that
Yeah,
smells so
yeah,
freaking good,
yeah.
and
So
she all oiled up, and she all laying on
yeah,
you,
and
laughing
our
and
mind, it's
drinking wine.
if you didn't
And
really
look,
want this, you wouldn't invite me over. You would have just said your
Yeah.
goodbyes
I
at the
was saying
door,
you would
and
have said
that's
your
that.
goodbye at the door and shut it
right.
Yeah,
down. But I
Yeah.
think
Well, I
that's
guess
yeah.
I
the other
messed
So
up
thing.
there then. I
yeah,
guess
Yeah,
so
I
absolutely. I
misled
mean,
so
her.
again,
I
you're
was
you're
kind
you're
of
leading her wrong. Like that's the thing. Like if you lead a woman wrong, you can't get mad at her for, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta
true.
yeah,
lead women right.
True.
Listen, I'm taking you home because I want to tear that ass up, and I'm not interested in doing that right now. I don't want to jump into this right now. I want to take it slow. But if I take you upstairs, I'm gonna break your freaking back. So I'm gonna take you home right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly,
That's a good
exactly.
point. I guess
Yeah,
that's something I could learn going forward. Of just like
yeah,
where I led her into behaving and thinking the way she did.
And if
Because I
you
definitely.
take
Because
it
definitely,
that,
slow, because see, here's the thing: when it comes down to women, right? They desperately want a fantasy, right? That's
mhm.
what they want. It is your duty to give her that fantasy, whatever that fantasy is. If it's to the house with the white picket fence and the scraggly dog and the 2.3 kids,
mm-hmm,
if that's just fantasy that you're painting, you're coming in like this is the fantasy that I'm bringing to the table. Do you like the fantasy? And she's going to say, "Yes, I love this fantasy." And it's your job to take her on that journey, right? So if
yes,
you're going to date a woman and you're saying, "I am taking you on a fantasy," because this fantasy is based on biblical texts, we're going to follow it by the letter. I am not going to put you or myself in a position where sex can
yep,
happen before marriage. I'm not going to do that
yes,
because
yep,
she's going to look for you to guide her. Right?
Mm-hmm.
yep,
If you say we're not having sex, it means okay, we're gonna go to this restaurant. I'm gonna meet you there, and you're gonna go get in your car, you're gonna go home, and I'm gonna get my car,
mm-hmm,
I'm gonna go home. Okay, we ain't never gonna be in the same car together. You make sure you're gonna lose a lot of girls doing this. No, make no doubt about it. You're going to lose a lot of girls with doing this, but you're going to find the girl for you. If this is what you
yes,
want, you have to play the fantasy role. Whatever fantasy that you're trying to do, and I'm gonna let you go after this. Whatever fantasy you want in your life, you have to create that environment and say, "This
mm-hmm,
is how I'm going to lead my woman, because this is the type of woman that I want following me." The woman that's going to follow you is going to see your fantasy and say, "That is what I want." All
facts.
right. If you're playing this goofy ass game, we're not going to have sex, but come on in the house, and like, come on now. She think you lying because that's exactly what she would have said to you.
And on the flip side is now she's going to do anything and everything that's going to cause you to break because you
Yes.
already
So
dated.
now she thinks it's a game.
It's kind of like
Cause me
if
to
you,
what?
It's a game
she's
to
thinking
her.
it's a game. It's kind of like if you're a recovering alcoholic and you're like, "Yo, I'm gonna buy this alcohol, put it in the house, but I'm not gonna drink it." Like you just setting
Right.
yourself up for failure. The
Yeah, true
best
that.
choice is the best thing is to not buy it. Period. Don't have it in the house. If it's
You
not
want to
in the
know why
house, then there's
temptation
no.
works?
Well, it actually didn't even. She didn't even turn it into a game. She went completely other sideways and told me that like I think she felt guilty or something because she tried to say I was being too rough with her, and I wasn't even like. I literally was not. I was pretty gentle. I thought I was being really gentle with her the
Well,
whole time. So she
that's
like
just
kind of
a
threw it back in my face and started acting some type of way.
That was
And
because
basically
she was
told me
kind
I
of
never want to see
controlling
you
at
again.
that point.
well that's a way of not wanting to take accountability and putting the blame on somebody else. That's
Which
what
is
that's
something
Okay,
what
yeah,
that
that
they
that's
is.
how
do
I
all the
took
time.
it. I was like,
Yeah.
because I called her out on some stuff. I said I felt some uncomfortable with some stuff, and then she turned around and she said all this stuff that I was doing, and I was like, it kind of took me aback. Like I don't know how like that, how she
Yeah.
thinks I was doing that because like I wasn't. You know what I mean? Like I set a
Yeah.
boundary, I said this, and you didn't respect it, and then I'm the bad guy. Like you know what I mean?
You was
So
direct and she wasn't.
But
That's the
but you
point.
also have to
Yes.
think about it. You also said she was 20. It was childish. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
True that.
That's a childish game because legit. If you're looking for something and you legitly said, "Hey, these are the rules of how to play this game," and they deliberately try to go past it, yes, that is not. Hey, I'm trying to be held accountable for what I'm doing. It's I'm not taking accountability, and by the way, I'm throwing daggers back at you.
And shout out to Logic Rex. What's going
Yes.
on?
In the building.
100% past. Yeah, I like that. Yep.
Hey,
Exactly what I thought. But thank you
100% pass.
so
Yeah,
much.
exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, thanks for the calling, man. Hopefully we gave
Yeah,
you some
man.
good answers and it helped you with your future endeavors as far as the dating scene and everything like that, and hopefully finding that lady to be, you know?
Keep
Thank
your
you,
head
man.
up.
Yeah, so much for the dating scene.
Appreciate
Honestly,
it.
I'd rather just do what I got to do to like be a light in this world. Like the dating scene can wait for right
I
now.
feel you. I feel you.
But
Believe me,
anyways,
believe me, your woman is going to find you. Just focus on you. Get yourself together.
Yes.
Make sure you stay on the right path. You know what I mean? Like just find a team of brothers to just chit chat with. People that's in this
Yes.
game that know how to play the game, and just talk to them. Like because there's a lot of things that you can fake, but you can't fake the emotion. Once you get hit with that emotion, when you get slapped with it, that's when it's going to throw you off your game. When you sitting there like, dang, man, how am I supposed to deal with these emotions? I want to do this, I want to do that, but I'm told and I'm advised not to. Those are the emotions that you're going to have to deal with. But those that comes in time, man. Just take your time. When it comes down to men, and I hope women are doing this for each other. But when it comes down to men, I want you men to do the best you can. I want you to
we need to
see.
lift each other up. We need to lift
Yes.
each other up.
Yes, we do. And if that means that I got to give you the wisdom that I got, I'll give it to you. I don't got no problem with
Or
it.
sometimes if that means that we gotta tell it to each other straight, because like sitting there and sugarcoating shit and trying to tell each other like, oh, it's all good, when it's like really not good, is like what gets people in bad positions when they don't have people like that.
Look,
And like
that's one thing we don't do here.
We don't sugarcoat. We tell you right.
Yeah, we don't
Listen.
sugarcoat. Yeah.
Sugarcoat.
for sure.
If you haven't figured anything out about the Americans who happen to be black, we don't sugarcoat shit.
Yeah. You know how many times I spoke to Gary about something, whatever, and he's like, dog, you was wrong. Like, like ain't no sugarcoating nothing. It's like, dog, you effed up.
Yesterday, freaking mad as in the talk with some. Oh yeah, I'm not letting you do that. I'm like, who the fuck? All right, yeah.
But we need that though. You feel me? Like,
but that's what I don't. That's
it.
the thing. I think that that's the thing I think that I was trying to say that's the thing I wasn't saying that I was trying to say earlier about women is like I don't see women doing that for each other. Like I see women telling each other fucking lies, and like they're telling each other the lies that they're fed by the fucking media and by society, by these narratives, by their fucking influencers, and that's the biggest fucking thing that irks the shit out of me. Cause I don't meet very many women that aren't influenced by that shit, including my mother and my sister. Like they're both like they're not in it as deep as like some other like more worldly women that I know.
Yeah.
But like nonetheless, like when is that gonna happen? When like they stop when is that gonna happen when they stop telling lies to one another about like, oh, you could do this and you could do that, and like it's like if we want to use biblical terms like evil black cat was using, it's like basically they're all being Eve for one another and being like, oh yeah, you could eat from the apple, you could take a bite of this apple and like nothing's gonna happen. But it's like
once again,
it's like they're all just poisoning each other. Yeah, exactly. The blind leading the blind. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, then is it our responsibility as men in this society to like step the fuck up and be like, hey, look, that's not the right way. That's just not working. You got to come this way. But like you guys were saying earlier, women,
it's not our job.
To be honest, it was their parents' job to do it. And if the parents are the ones that are poisoning the well, that's going to be the hardest person to change. I'm sorry. You have to get it from your home life first.
Unfortunately,
you get it
Logan, a lot of the times it's going to require the parents to correct it. Like you're going to have to hear from your mom, I didn't do right by you. And many moms don't have the stomach to say that. Like, listen, I did the best I could, but I didn't give you much. And listen, and I'm not going to sit here and try to put my wife's stuff out there, but the point is that it's going to have to take some strong women who's gone through it to put their hand on that woman's shoulder and say, baby girl, if you keep this up, you're going to end up like me. And that will hit. But there's too many women that won't even admit to themselves that they did it. You know what I'm saying?
There you go.
It's
Gary.
problem.
It's so sad because even my mom's, there's so many things, like, I think back now that she did wrong, so to speak. And even if she was alive, I guarantee you, for the things that she did wrong, this woman would not apologize or anything. Like, there's so much things that she did to my sister, the youngest girl of the family. She's not the youngest in the family, but the youngest girl in the family. So many things she did wrong to her, and I could understand why my sister goes through certain things that she do because of that trauma. And not once did my mother ever even have the thought of saying, baby girl, I did you wrong. I abused you as a child, and I shouldn't have done that. There's things I could have done differently. She would not have that thought just to confess on how wrong she was with her upbringing. And a lot of women believe being strong is not confessing to things that you might have done wrong when raising your child, your son, whatever the case may be. It is very hard for them to accept
definition
that.
of strength. That's the problem.
Yes, exactly.
Well,
exactly.
I think, and I think like that is something that we can all learn from, is that, like, because for example, my dad, he's 60. He is an alcoholic. He has some mental health issues, and I got strong like genetics from that side, in that like we could live past 100 if we take care of ourselves. But like a lot of people on that side of my family don't take good care of themselves, so they like decay preemptively. And I've already come to accept that, like, not that like my dad isn't going to be, most likely is never going to be the man that I needed him to be when I was younger, and nor is he going to ever fulfill his, well, I mean, not like the things that he says he'll do. He does, like, for me, like, he won't even say he'll do things for me. Like, if I try to go like get lunch with him or whatever, it doesn't matter. Like, if I can't rely on my father to be a man of his word for me, he can be more of, like, he comes through more for my little sister because she's younger and she needs a father figure more at this point in her life. But I've already come to accept the fact that he never was or will be the masculine role model that I needed to emulate. But like, that's something that I heard a while back, and I do, like, I see this, is that, like, there's 2 ways to heal that, or there's 3 ways to heal that trauma, and I think that this is applicable to women as well. There's well, the first way that I heard of, and I was listening, I'm not religious either, but I was listening to this pastor talk about like childhood wounds and how to heal them. And he was saying that men that seek approval from women for their mother wound or for their father wound, that just men, approval seeking men, it was saying that the only way to get that, to find that love or that approval for yourself internally, is to be surrounded with fraternal brotherhood, to have a fraternal brotherhood around you,
which
that can
is
heal.
what Gary said.
Yeah, that can heal, that can show you what it means to be like loved by other men, because that is the closest thing to what it is going to be to being loved by your father. And then once you have that bond with other men, it can show you how to give that to yourself. So like, that's one way of healing it. Another way, like, and this is easier said than done, is just to be the man that you needed in your childhood. So, or that I would have to be the man that I needed in my childhood, which I'm trying to be, but that's just not like that's an excuse as well. But it's just not easy to try to be the man that I needed in my childhood because I don't even know all the things that I needed in my childhood.
So how about you just do this? Try this because this works for me. Just talk to yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need? What do I need right now? Do I need a hug?
Make a list.
Just, no, don't make shit. Just sit in your chair and just say, do I need a hug? Like, would it be nice to have a hug? Yeah, it'd probably be nice to have a hug. And just start there. Because, I mean, who the hell knows what you need until you start asking the question? Your brain will tell you the answer once you start asking. It has to. It's his job.
Mm-hmm.
But you got to start asking the questions like, do I need a hug? Nah, that sounds kind of cheesy. I don't need a hug. Do I need to write some down? You know, do I need to keep a journal? Do I need to work out? Do I need to get something to eat? Do whatever the hell it is. Just ask, what am I feeling right now? How do I feel empty right now? Because I'm searching for something to fill this void, and it's not happening. You know how many times I played video games until I freaking fell asleep? Just to wake up to play video games until I freaking fall asleep because I was so empty inside. You know, it took a long time for me to just accept that Gary is empty and all this sex and all the women and all the money is not doing anything for Gary.
You still feel alone inside.
But
You
I'm
still feel alone inside.
Right, because I never took care of the kid inside. I never took care of that kid. Because all I did was shelter him, but I ignored him.
You know, it's crazy too, because I could relate to that guy. It's like, even though you had the women that you had a good time with, you had the video games, you had the job, this, that, and the third, blah, 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 you still felt that emptiness. And one time, a lot of times when that emptiness went away, when I actually was able to sit down and have a conversation with one of my brothers. I don't mean family member, but I mean like a male that I'm close with, that I could actually open up and speak about, certain things with. That helped like fill that void, because it's like I could just decompress.
Yep.
So having a male figure in your life is very important to us men.
Yeah.
It is very important. And believe it or not, especially if you have the right male figure in your life, whatever it is you're going through, they're going to help you find answers to help you yourself find that closure of whatever past trauma you went through, whatever the case may be. Even if it's like, yo, man, go to therapy. Well, I can't afford it. You know what? Let me see if I could come up with a couple of dollars and see what I can do. Let me look into this so I can help you. Like that, having that brotherhood will, and I mean it will, help in so many ways that it's like you wouldn't even think it's possible. Like the possibilities are there. And that's what us men do on a regular basis, is we really look to help each other at the end of the day. And I think that's what the women are lacking in the community when it comes to women.
Yeah. See, the one thing that we have the one power that we have, superpower, is that we have to, just like Black Cat saying, we have to literally suck it up, right? We have to suck it up. We got to get up. We got to move, right?
Yeah.
But the part that so many men miss is sucking it up means you don't stop moving. It doesn't mean you don't take care of self. You still got to take care of self. Yo, man, this is what we're going to do. We got to get, I know she hurt me. I know she hurt us. I know she hurt us. We bleeding right now. We want to jump out the freaking window. We bleeding so hard.
Yeah, those things don't have to be mutually exclusive. I've never heard it said that way. I've never heard it said that way because like lately, like I've been having a lot of trouble staying moving, and even though I know what I got to do, because I do stop moving to take care of self, to tend to self. But I haven't realized that I can do both.
Yes, you can do both. Listen, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get up, even though we're hurting. We're going to go to work. All right. We're going to leave this pain right here on the table. Right. Put the pain in the little box. When we come back home, we can pick this pain back up and we can feel all the emotions we want. But right now, we got to get to work. Okay. You get up, you go to work, you do what you got to do. Hell, on the way to work, cry. Boo hoo, cry. On the way to work, let it out. When you get to work, you're a new man. I'm here to do my job. Boom, boom, boom. To do your thing. Blah, blah, blah. Knock it out. You know, you get back home. You look at that box. You're like, why the hell am I picking that up for? I had a good day today.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sometimes it's a choice.
Yep.
Sometimes it's a choice.
Yes.
Actually, I think a lot of the time it's a choice. We just don't even realize it when we're carrying all that. When we're carrying that weight.
You can always put it down and keep it there. But if you want to pick it up because you're like, dang, man, you know, at this moment that I'll be, you know, we'll be doing this, whatever. I miss her, you know what I'm saying? Like, I miss her. Like, there's been times where I done got brokenhearted so bad, and I'll just send a text like, yo, I know what happened. I know it's over, but I just wanted to say I'm thinking about you, you know, and like, it's no harm in doing that. You're not giving up anything. I know a lot of men like, I ain't texting her. She'll never know how I feel. Like, yeah, that's dumb. Why? So like, listen, I know she did something ridiculous, but you ain't doing it for her. You're doing it for you.
Yep.
For sure. Well, I gotta go, guys, but I appreciated this conversation. I hope y'all got something out of it as well from a different perspective.
Definitely.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Definitely.
No problem, bro. All right, man.
But
keep in touch,
I hope
brother.
y'all have a blessed night.
You too. Thank you so much for joining the live tonight.
All right. This is one thing I will say. Speaking to these younger gentlemen, like in his case where he sets standards of saying, hey, we're not doing XYZ, we're not gonna have sex, you know, stuff like that or whatever. This is where the Pookies and the Ray Rays are winning, because when they have the women that came out of these long-term relationship and they're like, I just want to live my best life or whatever, this, that, and the third, the Pookie and the Ray Ray will just go along and, yo, she just want a good time, I'm gonna have a good time, and boom, boom, boom. From there, as time go by, it just becomes the norm for that woman. Whereas here's this gentleman who he's not a Pookie or a Ray Ray. He's actually looking to connect with a woman 100% genuinely. And this woman is looking past him because she wants, you know, the things that a Pookie and a Ray Ray will do. Even to the point that she tried to hold him accountable for her actions. The wrong actions that she took. What was you going to say?
What I'm saying is, so what about that? Look, you're not looking for trash, right?
No, I know that. But I'm just going by the theme of why we're talking about why women can't get enough of the Pookies and the Ray Rays. This is the reason why. It's like when they could run into something new, that somebody that holds standards, those standards don't do it for them. They want somebody they could be free nilly-willy who's not going to tell them no for whatever it is that they're trying to do. They're not looking for a leader. They're looking for somebody they could just run amok with and get with their program.
Yeah, they're looking for they're looking for the right fit for right now, right? Like that's all they're looking for. They have no problem with building a man through 3 different men. Okay, one to come and fix things and move things around, one to, you know, pay bills and take her out, and one to, you know, take care of in the bedroom. They have no problem with doing that because it's so easy for a woman to find those dudes, but she's still empty. So my thing is that are they really winning? Is Pookie really winning? Well, of course, when you never get off for level 1, you're gonna always win. Of course, they don't get off of level 1 like that. I'm not impressed. Like, I'm not impressed, dog. Like, okay, I remember having a conversation with my boy, man, love him to death, and he used to complain about these women all the dang time because that's the women that he was dealing with is the equivalent of are the Felicias of the world, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at this dude. I'm like, the potential this man has, the stride that he has, the confidence and all that stuff. He's just a really chill, good dude. But he's been scarred when he was he was scarred when he was younger, and he has no intention of upgrading himself to get a better woman. I even asked him, I said, why don't you just upgrade yourself? Because you keep complaining about the same one. You keep complaining, but you keep going back to the same women. And he was like, I'm not ready to rise up. I'm not ready to upgrade myself. And I stopped talking. I said, yo, until you're ready to do that, there's nothing I can say.
Yeah,
I'm not
exactly.
ready for that. So
Exactly.
yeah, he enjoyed complaining about it. So what am I doing? Going to get, I'm going against the grain here, But last time I checked, he's doing a damn good thing. He's really working his ass off. I don't even talk to him anymore, and I think it's because he's very busy. But I wish him the best, and I really think that a lot of men run into this huge snag of thinking about women first. And men have to stop doing that.
They
Women
do.
are not that important. And I'm going to say this again for everybody to hear. Women are not that important until one makes herself that important. When she makes herself that important in your life, I mean, literally, like she folding your clothes, she's taking you, she's getting you up, just like you were saying, getting you up in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Making sure you're getting your doctor's appointment, taking care of the house, taking care of your
Mm-hmm.
kids. When she's that important, you definitely you definitely have to put her first. But if she just something you hitting, man, listen, man, I'll get up with you when I get up with you.
And I'm a play this clip here too. This is why what you said is very important as far as like these men stop making it revolve around women and pretty much think with your big head, not your little head, because thinking with your little head can get you into some sticky situations, or it could get you some things that you're gonna wish you thought with your bigger head. Check this out, ladies and gentlemen. Now, let me give you some context to this, right? This dude walked into a bathroom where a lady was in a stall, and then they just started smashing or whatever. He just started having sex with this woman right there in the bathroom, whatever. Don't know her, nothing. They're in a club, whatever the case may be. Now, let's get into it.
Oh my God, give me the phone! Give me the phone! Hold on. Whoa.
Wait a second. Somebody went in here.
I have herpes is because I put it on the internet about 2 weeks before this went down and told people that that I had that and so whenever that happened in the bathroom, I was out of my mind drunk. Like, and it's kind of hard to be able to tell somebody when something happens that fast. I went into the bathroom after my friend, making sure she was straight because she went to the wrong bathroom, and she ended up going into a stall, so I went in the one next to her because some dude was in front of her trying to protect her door, so nobody came after her. So I went into the one right next to her, went to the bathroom, all that shit happened like so fast. Like, y'all can't expect me to be able to like do that fast, like be able to say it that fast.
Wait a minute. She's the girl that was smashing the
Yes.
dude?
Yep. My thing
You
is,
can't say it that fast. You in the bathroom, you peeing,
but
and you could
but
attack this
Erica
dude.
P,
Like, no, come
Erica
on.
P, Erica P, I'm sorry. that falls on the dude, because if you would have actually, like, why should she tell somebody that basically willing to stick their D inside of her without no, not even getting to know this woman's name? If you know, don't even want to at least get to know my name, why do you want to know about like, if I have any STDs or anything? You clearly didn't want to care to know about my name or anything else. So why would that be even a subject of conversation? And on top of that, I'm intoxicated. You should do your diligence of at least getting to know somebody or something before you go into trying to do XYZ.
But that's
It's
what I'm
kind of like
saying
that.
though. Like
It's
this
kind
is
of
the
like that.
culture, but this is what this culture is breeding. You got these
Here's
chicks
a
just
question for you.
hitting
Here's a
everybody.
question. Here's a question for you, right? There was this transgender, right, that was getting a pizza delivery or Chinese food delivery or something. It was a food delivery, right? The dude came and delivered, and the transgender was flirting with the dude and was like, "Yo, you keep doing XYZ, whatever. You mess around and get your D sucked." He steps up to the plate like, "Yo, I'm gonna get my D sucked. I want my D sucked." He gets his D sucked. Later finds out it's a transgender, and he's mad about it, and people saying the transgender is mad for not saying anything.
No,
Why
he's
would the
stupid enough for
transgender
not
not need to?
asking.
Exactly. Why would the transgender have to say anything if you didn't take the time to even ask a question or anything? Like, you just quickly thought with the head on top of your head. I'm sorry, I can't put that on the person, because at the end of the day, you still have to insert P inside of P. You still have no action is going on unless you insert.
I get that, but that's what I'm saying. This stuff to me has to stop. People have to be held accountable. Now you got a disease because you didn't ask basic questions. But on the flip side, it's like people have to start realizing this is not okay.
And that's
It's
something else
not.
that Rex Logic said that makes sense. Dude didn't even have the courtesy to wrap it up. Like, come on, you was asking for trouble.
Now, here's the thing. I don't even have anything to say, actually. I really don't know what to say. Like,
who do you hold accountable?
Who do I hold accountable?
Yes. Like, who do you think is more in the wrong, I should say? Her or him?
How am I supposed to answer that? Like, it looked like she was enjoying herself, like she was throwing it back. Like, how can I answer?
Yeah.
Correct. But think about it. She also, I guess, in my head is I'm holding both accountable. I'm holding you accountable as the female because you shouldn't be putting yourself in situations. But I'm
No, I
also
agree. I agree. Holding both accountable, I agree with you. But at the same time, I'm not gonna feel pity for this guy.
I don't. I was about to say I
Yeah.
don't feel
All
pity
right,
for neither
Lloyd, have
one
a
of
good
them.
one, money.
I'm like, I don't feel pity
All
for
right,
neither
Lloyd.
one of you. Y'all consciously made the decision, drunk or not, to do what you did. Now, guess what? The disease, you already said, hey, you got the disease. But what happens now? You got a baby by somebody you don't even know their name. Because that could have been a real possibility with that disease. Make that
I
make
don't
sense.
think they gave a crap. That's the thing. Like, neither one of them
Correct.
cared.
But that's the problem that I had fear for. Growing up, I had a fear of, hey, what type of life do I want to have? Do I want to go out and smash everything that walk and have the possibility of not knowing who I just fathered a child with?
Now
Or
check this
do
out.
I be conscious about it and make conscious decisions? Because guess what? Whatever decision I make, I made it based off of what I wanted to do. That ain't about what you want to do. Being drunk, them consequences is not what you wanted to do. You were inebriated, that meant you was under the influence. Anytime you're under influence of anything, you're not making sound decisions.
Now here's another video I'm gonna play also, which should be eye-opening for women that go after these pookies. Because all this, one night stand and hey, like what was the gentleman's name that was just Logan said? Like Logan said, yo, he met the chick, on the first night she's trying to get it in or whatever, this, that, and the third. And if Logan happened to have been a Pookie, hey, these are the possibilities of things that could happen. You could run into gentlemen like this.
Chlamydia before. I ain't gonna lie. I'm 33 years old. I'm turning 33. I had chlamydia before. It's stronger than chlamydia. I had chlamydia. All I did was drink ginger ale. I was straight. I was straight, nigga. Took a pill, drunk some ginger ale. I was out here giving the next day, nigga.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's my like this is.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
you don't know if people got motives. That to me is some motive stuff.
But the thing is, everybody is talking about sexual liberation and being promiscuous, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. This is why it's important to find that individual that you can connect with, so you don't run into situations like these. So you don't run into situations of the gift that keeps on giving. You was out there looking for a gift. Guess what? You got yourself a gift. You got a hell of a gift. So that's why I'm like, yo, diseases are there for a reason. That lets you know this whole sexual liberation or whatever is not something that is promoted like biologically. That's why diseases are there. Because it doesn't want you swapping, with multiple partners, this, that, and the third. But yeah, man, but women will say, hey, I'm living my best life and, thotting it up, this, that, and the third. Be toxic and during your 20s, because when your 30s come, blah, blah, blah. All of these things that is not beneficial to women. And as we see, speaking to the young gentleman that was on the panel, all of them, what did they basically say in their 20s? Granted, I understand Gary was like, yo, don't settle down till you're in your 30s, because now you're more so becoming into your manhood or being a man. You're on that journey to being a man. But what did these 20-year-olds tell you they were looking for? Wives, families, someone to connect with. But yet the opposite sex in the same age bracket is looking for the opposite. They're looking for a good time. So what does that tell you? Like, what does that tell you, man?
In my head, it's eliminating them as competition for older women. I'm throwing it out there. If somebody older than you is telling you to go enjoy your 20s, what do you think they're going to do? Because obviously the men that we're talking to want to be married, want to have families. So what are the next thing that they're going to start doing? They're going to start looking older, not younger. So I felt like all they did was just they let the younger women X themselves out of the equation to begin with.
Mm-hmm. Facts. All right, I'm gonna play this last clip from what Gary sent me. If we go into playing the other clip that he sent me, we'll play it. But I know he definitely wanted me to play this clip right here, so let's check it out.
I feel like the man is really the prize. I don't know why.
Hey, girl, now.
Yes. I'm starting to feel like men are really the prize because literally as a woman, we have to wait on the man for everything. We have to wait on the man. We have to wait on the man. We can date whoever we want, but we can't marry who we want.
One of them says,
stepping into the marriage, you have to wait for the man to ask you to marry him. You have to wait for the man to ask you to be his girlfriend. You have to wait for the man to ask you out on a date. All these kind of things we're waiting on a man to do. Like literally.
How about you have multiple? So you're not waiting on nobody.
Because most women, they're dating a lot of guys. Yeah, but they have that one guy that they want who don't want them. They're dating all these other guys on the side because they're trying to distract themselves. But realistically speaking, they want that one guy who was taking forever to claim them.
That's not how it is.
Yes, I've always felt women were the prize.
You should know that you are the prize.
I've always felt that way. don't get it twisted. But if you think about it, I'm just trying to be more realistic, be more open minded in my thinking. That's the reason why I'm saying that. If you're gonna ask the man to marry you, by all means do so. But I'm just saying, like, as far as like waiting for a man to like ask us to be like exclusive. That's what I'm talking about.
What are your thoughts on that, Erica P?
I feel like it's logical. What she said is logical. I can't tell somebody I want you to be my boyfriend, because if I give you the ultimatum, realistically, it could go one way or the other.
The man
I may be ready.
So what is your take on the friends who are on some, oh no, that's not true? And because the way guys see it, it's like, yo, women, they'll say, oh, dudes ain't this, dudes ain't that, but realistically, they juggling so many willies in one hand, it's ridiculous.
See, but that's the thing, though. I feel like if you're somebody who's serious, you can't be doing the juggling. Because if you're juggling 2, 3, 4, you're not serious. You're not looking for nothing serious if that's what you're doing. Because one, how do I know that I remembered to tell you what I told you? And how do I know that I wasn't supposed to tell you something? To me, that's too much work. That's too much time. That's too much energy. I'm not doing all of that. I was never that kind of person. It was, I'm going to put all my eggs in one basket. If this don't work, okay, fine. Because for me to go, all right, you Tuesday and Thursday and you Monday and Friday, what happens when Friday don't want to see you on Friday and want to see you on Tuesday? Or what happens when it's, hey, if I want to be exclusive, now I got to start making phone calls. Hey, I got to cut you off. I got somebody else now. I got to cut you. Like, who is trying to do all of that? There's too much work. But then on the flip side, that woman is a prize thing, I don't know where they came up with that either, because that's not how it should be. It's, hey, we're a prize together. The end goal is find your mate and live happily ever after.
It's not biblical.
No, I get that part, but I'm like, that woman is the prize thing, and you hold it on a pedestal. You can miss me with all of that. I didn't grow up like that. I didn't.
None of it's biblical, man. Like you listen, you are my help meet. I am supposed to come to get you. I am supposed to pay your father a dowry for your hand in marriage. You are going to wait until I come. And if I don't, and I find out when I do get there, you've been having relations with Bob, John, Joe, Peter, I'm going to leave you where you stand.
Correct.
Mm-hmm. And here's another thing too, like all these offerings for taking this woman's hand in marriage, your virginity is like the make or break it. That's right. That's the only thing that preserves that deal.
But guess
Without
what?
that,
But that's
no,
not
but I'm
what
just,
people are doing
but
now, though.
the reason, but I understand that. But what I'm saying is, women take that philosophy of, do you understand in these other countries, or because they're getting on passport bros about it and stuff like that, do you understand that these other countries, they're still, paying dads or families all this money, land and cattle for a woman's hand, whatever? Yeah, but those women are virgins. See, you can't try to have these traditional ideologies when nothing that you do in your lifestyle exuberates or exacerbates anything traditional.
Correct.
Nothing, but you want all these traditional values from a man. All of them. Needless to say, my belief is, at the end of the day, modern women are selfish. That's what it comes down to. They're selfish. I'm going to get whatever I can get and give you as little as possible, and I'm fine with it. And guys are not standing up for it anymore. Guys are actually starting to have values and morals, standards, and I'm all for it. I am
And
all
notice,
for it. Let them buy a dog, die alone, whatever the case may be. That's on you.
yep,
I do not care anymore.
yep.
Stay out of the hairs of the men that are actually looking to have families and build a community, all of that. You want to go there and be a thought and live it up? Hey, just go on OnlyFans and live your best life.
Yep.
Do what you do, but stay out of the hair of these men. Stop spreading STDs, all of this stuff. Stay.
Oh no! I'm not.
Grab
I
your
don't have a
ball
problem with
and
that.
go.
Let them spread the STDs because they're only doing it through 5 guys.
That's true. That's true. That's true. That's true. Yeah. But yeah, man, that's pretty much what I have to say on the matter, man. Like, yo, women, y'all want to pick Pookies and Ray Rays and everything like that because it seems, entertaining and heart pounding, a thriller, this, that, and the third. Like, if you want all that, go ahead, do what you do. But I hope you accept what comes with it.
They don't. They don't realize it. I mean, they don't, and that's the part that's comical to me, is because I know you're full of shit when you say you don't care. It's like you're full of shit. When I say I don't care, I really don't get. I don't care. When you say you don't care, you're just trying to one up me.
Yes.
Well,
And
how do you know that? Because you're a woman.
And the crazy thing about it is that, you could go out there and like live your best life. And let me rephrase: if that's what you want to do, hey, have at it. But why are you bringing a kid into the world, into the equation?
Because that's her real best life, being a mom. That's her real. Why do women have so much sex? You think it's because they think they have sex because they don't want you to pull out.
See, I get what you're saying. I do. But on the flip side, is not everybody sees themselves as being a mom.
They may not see themselves as
They not
being
see it.
mom, but they body do. Again, why do women have sex?
See, again, Erica, you're thinking on your logic of things, but when I look at these Pookie pickers, I look at it as they have a kid because they think bringing the kid into the world will make Pookie take them more seriously or stay focused on them, settle down, whatever. Because it's like, now we have a kid. Now things should kind of be different. So
Now
to
it's time
speak.
for you to settle down and take care of me.
Yeah, settle down and
But we
take
all
care.
know
Yeah.
having that kid ain't going to force nobody.
We do know that, but still, they still
That don't
do
change
it.
hope. That don't change
Yeah.
hope for nothing. That women
Yep.
hope a lot.
Why do you think, for instance, the chick who was saying like the dude had good D and was holding it down, but it's so many red flags. Why was she holding on? Because she's hoping that she can get him to, be on her page, so to speak, or
Is
do the
it
right thing.
possible that I can get him to turn into a
Yes.
real man? No.
Yes. And the reason why you're holding on is because you're like, dang, I found this good D that I don't find everywhere else or whatever. So let me hold on and see. Hopefully, I could get him to change. No,
But see,
he's got to want to make that change.
Correct. But I feel like people are using sex as the measure where it
That's why they
shouldn't
say
be that.
That's why they say
have,
sex is a
Erica.
weapon. That's why
They
they say
have
sex is a
nothing
weapon.
else but that. They have nothing. Women today cannot rise above their vagina. They can't do it. They don't know how to do it. Without sex, they can't even get men's attention.
Mm-hmm. Why do you think they throwing their butt around all everywhere you go? Like everywhere you look, women. Like I remember this person I friend on Instagram, right? when you look at their early stages of like their timeline, it was family pictures, whatever, videos with their kids on the beach, sand, this, that, and the third. Then as like you start going like up the timeline, then you saw it was one video of twerking, whatever. The likes were, up there. Then a little bit more, a little bit more. Next thing you know, now you don't even see no family type videos or pictures or anything. All you see is this person twerking on every single video, showing ass in a bikini or whatever the case may be. That's all they do. And then now when you look on the bio, they have an OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You get what I'm saying? So, it's like that's all it seems like they have to offer or whatever. That's why when dudes be like, yo, what do you have to bring to the table? They can't even answer that. They'll be like, yo, you'll just have to find out. Like,
yeah,
it's funny too. I saw this.
Really?
This skit. I saw this skit. Right, it was on Valentine's Day. This dude came home, whatever, to his wife or whatever, and was like, "Yo, it's Valentine's Day, whatever. I got you this gift or whatever. Cool." So she got the gift. So he's looking at her, and he's like, "Where's my gift?" She's like, "Oh, don't worry. After I'm done cooking, I'm gonna give you this bomb ass."
Oh yeah, that was
pea."
hilarious.
And he was like, "Bomb ass pea, I got it. Get that every day. You gonna take your butt out this house and go get me a gift. Like what you gonna do with your pea? Put flowers around it now, shave a heart around it. Like, I get the pea every day. What the hell does this matter? Get your butt out the house and go get me a gift." Like,
I remember that skit. That
yeah. So it's like, yo,
oh my
you
God,
rely like
here, Wally.
Yeah.
I said that to my wife. She was like, "What you trying to say?" I was like, I was crying. It was so funny.
But yeah, man, that's what these modern women think. Their pee is gonna like that's gonna get them the gateway to any and everything. And brothers ain't standing for it no more.
No.
They're not standing for it no more, unfortunately. Well, not fortunately, they're not standing for it anymore.
Damn, man. Well, listen, let's wrap this up. It's been
Yes, we are. Yeah, we are.
4
Yes.
hour live.
Yes. I tell you this though, we got a lot. It's a lot that could be chopped up into smaller videos. So,
well, a lot of our lives can be chopped up, and they will be chopped up. But this was a very, very good live. I think we got a lot of ground covered. These are the type of lives that I want to have. These right here.
Yep.
The ones that are informative, the one that engages the chat and get people in. They want to talk. They want to ask questions. Because I think that we can heal our country. It's not hard to do. It's not hard to do. It's just going to take discipline and dedication and a little bit of grit. That's it.
Yes.
Because at the end of the day, we don't really give a damn about these hoes. We don't. We don't care about them. Let them do what they do. It's not like I'm going to sit here and say, I'm trying to save you, young girl. No. You all right, you go out there and you do what you got to do. I'm not saying that you are completely, thrown away, but you're going to have to clean yourself up first. You're gonna have to go to the same bruises that men have to go through. You want to be equal, you equal. I'm not about to sit here and because I don't go and pat men on the back because he fell down. I say get up. Dust yourself off. Try again. That's what I say to a man. So I'm gonna say to these women, try it again. Yeah, but nobody will take me no more. Well, did you read the memo that we put out? There's like 1 billion freaking videos on it. It's like, I mean, and here's the thing. Women will never, ever, ever, ever truly be alone. There will always be a man willing to accept her. Always.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
Okay.
Facts.
Now,
that is so true.
She may have to lower her standards a little bit, but let's face it, she's never had standards a day in her life. Ever. People with standards don't just give their bodies up to any old body. period. So if
agree.
she can't be coming up. Oh, I got 2 kids now. I have a financial standard. Well, I guess you're gonna be broke because I ain't give you none of my money.
That's funny, but true. So true.
All right, folks,
So
it's been a
true.
real thank you for everybody in the chat, everybody that came up to the panel and actually had a conversation with us. I truly appreciate every last one of you. This is a beautiful live. Thank you, guys. This is Gary. I'm signing off. Wally P, Erica P. You guys have a good one.
You too.
Peace.
Good night. Peace.